They fantasize, I analyze, I am the eyes. Yeah. They stand and lie, I stand in truth. That's my I am alive, I am alive, I am alive. I channel God, the frequency lives inside. Delinquencies leap aside, just look inside. I promise you'll find bodies the synagogue. You lie to self, then you sin to God. I take the end of lines, put it in a loop, then I tie a knot. This eternal life, this is Heka'u. We can never die, we are immortalized. They live mortal lives. I am more than man, I have God inside. Whoa. Opened the door and then I got inside. Found my inner child, gave him a hug, told him I love him, we gon' be alright. And then I gave a smile, you made me more than proud. Shed some tears, let us scream aloud, a stand in pride. Grabbed his hand, it was the hand of God, our fingers five. Double time, we put hands to sky. Raise them high, raise them high. This is dua. Praise himself, praise each other, praise to health, that is the root to wealth. Praise comes from per, and it means to sell. See, that's what preachers do, buying souls, selling hell. Disguised as heaven, pushing P. Differences between prophet and prophecy. The Bible is a prop to see the lies of man, portraying God open-eyed to see. Read. Telling tales of wanderings, I've been wondering, they don't know that we're the real wonders. Miracles, when I speak it thunders, literal. You feel it under your flesh when your organs start to rumble. Heartbeat, you're listening to vibrations as my heart speaks. Stretch minds, I have far reach. Raj General, this is me. This is pinnacle. Step on sinister. Everyone is demons these days. Trust me, once you step to us, you will not leave as you came. See, we ain't the same, raising names. Real fame comes from Ba. It means to speak, to say. I have lots to say. My ancestors taught me how to pray, ask and receive. Given that you live in reciprocity, our Ba shall speak through you to give our message of praise. Hands raised, this is dua. This is dua. Light body emerges Kaaba. Give me high five. Hands up. This ain't a stick up. This is dua. Giving praise. They're only giving praise when they receive a raise. Like thank God. I receive a raise as I rise up every single day. Raise comes from res, giving life the sun's rays, hands embrace. Consciousness extinct, even the ones who think they are woke are still asleep. Resi means to watch and it deals with what you see. Resi means to dream and it's the tongue of the speech. Watch what you speak, bring dreams to reality. Watchtower, watch me tower over with power. This is more than album, this is pure magic. Creation vibrations, layers on layers. Prayers on prayers, demon slayers, soul cakes of fire, caught up in a rapture like I need a baker. The Lord has risen, watch the bread rise, to give sustenance. I've seen death eyes, the moon is my left eye. Praise Yah, dua. This is House of ATTON. I don't have a mask on, I'll tell you all what happened. I see they got the facts wrong, flow fluid. Walk with ancestors like Anpu is. Who's this? Greek named Anubis. Prove it. I see bodies walking around soulless, clueless. Ani Pata, don't compare me to Steve Jobs. Call me Pata Sakar. If you need to do more research, search Ray. Hands in vagina plays when pray. Spitting seeds into the womb to birth and raise. See, that's parades. Give thanks like it's in your hands. Collecting plates, ancient stele. Step through fire, see we trailblaze. Fate and faith, this is knowledge. Facts will flip a fake. Tell me what's at stake to give thanks. Hands raised, this is dua. This is dua. Light body emerges Kaaba. Give me high five. Hands up. This ain't a stick up. This is dua. Scribal Sessions Volume 1. For the record. Open your eye in alignment with time and you'll see the truth like it's a physical thing. From the darkness I arise, so it's not a surprise when you learn of the light that I bring. As above, so below, I find a rhythm and flow as I grow with the pendulum swing. This is the matrix where everyone's faking they sleep here in life while we wake up in dreams. Shedding the skin like a serpent, this work makes it worth it. Attaining a purpose while searching internal, examine what all is in me. Most will not make it there, so can I take it? Reality shaking, you've seen what I've seen. Reap what you sow, we're the weavers of speech, achievers, and this is the read 'em and weed 'em. You cannot read in vibrations that none of them speak. Walk a medu netter, light is feather is heavy to learn that your will isn't free. Netter willing, I continue to lead with my ebas. I'm sweeping my consciousness clean. Training in realms that are unseen. My aura is sunbeam, set fire to all of the fiends. Stand on my eye, this is all seeing. I we supply 93, that means we are supreme. Healing through tones on my senses, connecting in this year. Wealthy is health, this is green. This is illusion, reality veiled in delusion. Thoughts become intrusive, it's foolish to not know by now that it ain't what it seems. This is way more than belief. I see clearly the lies. My six senses of sight are hypnotized. No wonder everyone sleeps. Open your eyes. It's time to set off the alarms. The performance self-harm. Don't you know you're a star? God in human form, and you rise with the beast. More than man. Bread in my hand, that's the Lord in hand. Heard what I said, Lord, live in the man. Light is sought after, it's in the man. Come from the inundation lands. Light is sought after, it's in the man. Come from the inundation lands. We ain't the same man, man. Record keeper. Seeing the state of the planet, the damage, the famines expanding beyond your belief. I see they landed, they've handed the people a cannon and aiming it right at your feet. Blowing a hole where you're standing, creating the panic. The tactical planning is deep. Teaching you're only a man and that God is in heaven, the seventh outside of your reach. If you're the question, they'll call you a manic, frantic, erratic, depression, demonic. When you're teaching through the magical speech, they'll call you serpent, the one in the garden. Pardon my knowledge for having the knowledge and prowess to see. He really told the truth to Adam and Eve. You'll have distinction between good and evil if you eat of the fruit of the tree. Now you're a god, open your eye, cleansing yourself so that now you can see. They stole the stories and twisted them like it's a spliff. They put the fire to leaf, I put the fire to speech, I put the fire to heat. We don't do liars and thieves, they just desire to greed. This is my record to keep, this is my throne. You cannot sit in my seat, and I command it. I give more than 10 commandments. This is the law of attraction, and we have infinite stamina. My stage is where I'm standing. This is my eye, God is in me. I only keep goddesses with me. They are the magical beings, they are the holy ones, birthing the gods. We're overcoming the odds. We are the even and odd. They're in the odds, we're in the all. Ancestors answer my prayers, forever grateful. I will forever say thank you. Inspiration to awake the sleepers. Record keeper, more than man. Bread in my hand, that's the Lord in hand. Heard what I said, Lord, live in the man. Light is sought after, it's in the man. Come from the inundation lands. Light is sought after, it's in the man. Come from the inundation lands. We ain't the same man, man. Record keeper, more than man. Bread in my hand, that's the Lord in hand. Heard what I said, Lord, live in the man. Light is sought after, it's in the man. Come from the inundation lands. Light is sought after, it's in the man. Come from the inundation lands. We ain't the same man, man. Record keeper.
Prosperity. May your monument be established on the foundations of my heart, and may you rise and come forth this conscious light, like the divine Ra, who rise and shine forevermore in my heart.
I look outside in awe, I see our people double-minded. People meaning creature, don't ignore the signage. Voices lead, though flying silent. Observation with my eye open eyelid. Look outside in awe, I see our people double-minded. People meaning creature, don't ignore the signage. Voices lead, though flying silent. Observation with my eye open eyelid. I am him, king, crown, rings, that's who I am in. Mindset of when fighting jinns, sword swang, samurai. I am Shem, Su-Hor, son of Heru. I am him, king, crown, rings, that's who I am in. Mindset of when fighting jinns, sword swang, samurai. I am Shem, Su-Hor, son of Heru. Words powerful, Hekau. See proof, you can feel the roots gone. Just look up, I am proof. Breaking doors down, make some room. But I is now speaking through me and trust me.
Peace and love, everybody. Welcome to the House of ATEN. Ancient Tehuti and Teachers on the Tiru presents Scribal Sessions number 19, Language Barriers Part 1, created by the mighty PTAH, Ani, Aten, Tehuti. Before we begin, and I introduce the brothers on the panel, we will start as we do every week with our beautiful affirmation. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Unki Ema'at, Un-N-S, Nintet or Sat Ema'at, Min Hapapat Ema'at, Her in Hu Kui, Per E Kut. I live for Ma'at, I exist within her, I do not speak in the place of Ma'at. Every day I advance towards Ma'at. My being is surrounded in darkness. I come forth as conscious light. Welcome everybody, I'm the mighty Atef Rimkem Ma'at, esteemed brethren. As a devoted disciple of the master teacher, Tehuti Amenhotep Ra, I humbly serve as your guide and host within the sacred halls of the House of ATEN. Each week we gather here to immerse ourselves in the profound teachings of Ma'at, embarking on the journey of enlightenment. Within this sanctuary, thanks Ani, within this sanctuary we explore the depths of truth, drawing wisdom from ancient artifacts and the profound teachings passed down by the great Tehuti Amenhotep Ra. My commitment extends beyond these gatherings. As a true-hearted devotee, I strive to live and breathe the principles of Ma'at, showing love for my people and resonating with the sacred vibrations of the MDWNTR. I stand as a steadfast guardian of Ma'at, protecting the sacred laws that govern our existence within the House of ATEN. Next, we have the mighty, the Jed, Sejem, Ma'at, Empty, Paut, Ku. Primordial Thought 9 is the seeker of divine wisdom, the wisdom with universal structure, the wisdom that remains the same from every perspective, the wisdom that adapts to any interaction, the wisdom that creates silence, the wisdom that sustains the House of ATEN. And our presenter for the night, the mighty scribe, Ani, PTAH, Aten, Tehuti, Tati, Vizier, Overseer of Administration of the House of ATEN, Chief Treasurers, Shesh Nasut, Royal Scribe of Tehuti Amenhotep Ra, Sab Scribe of Ra, Sajed E, Reciter of Aku, Effective Words of Conscious Light, One Grade of Heka, Excellent of Magic, Technology Architect of Tehuti, Bull of Ma'at, Truly Silent One, Controller of Temper, most expert in his calling, Protector of the Natiru, Neb Acker, Lord of Excellence, Son of the Great Unifier, Nu, Holder of the Secrets of the Duat, Smaui Sekni, one skilled in the arts of music and poetry, Himneta Tepi and SESHAT, High Priest of SESHAT, Saba and MDWNTR, Teacher of the Divine Language, Embodiment of PTAH's Writing Board and Tehuti's Mirror, Leader with the Heart, Sep Eve, Great of Humility, Servant of the People, Tehuti manifesting him, Heru manifesting him as PTAH, Neb Ma'at, Lord of Truth, Shimsu Natiru, Messenger and Follower of the Natiru, PTAH, Ani, Aten Tehuti, a living netta upon earth who lives in Ma'at, Unk, Ujed, Usir, life, stability, and wealth. Peace and love, everybody. Welcome to Study Guide Sunday.
Hey, Hotep, peace, peace, peace. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. Man, listen, I know you ain't come on the panel last night, but the image, man. Saba was in his bag, yo. Saba was in his bag with the jewels. Man, it was phenomenal, man. He said he was gonna drop more gems, bro. He said he was gonna do that more. So definitely looking forward to that. And I just wanted to let you know, your presence was missed, but it was also felt, because I know I know what it's like, good brother. I absolutely know what it's like being the great Atef. So, Atef, here new to you, great brother, and your Nefa Out.
Yeah, hey, Tua for that, man. Tua for those great words. Yeah, man, our set was just, she. I don't know people who get only babies get angry to go to bed. Hey, man, after my day, I'll be ready for the Upash. You can't get me there. You can't get me there fast enough.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Hey, I love when Saba dropping the gems. That's how them joints end up on my presentations, man, because that's gotta be part of it. That's the archive, right? Like those things is what penetrates the Eid. And it, like I said, I like when Saba leaves you speechless, right? To where how do you respond back to that, to contend it, right? Like, how do you fight back what he say, right? Like, I remember the first time he mentioned, he said, all right, well, okay, you found out already that the Egyptians are black. And now what? Hold on, wait, you already done found out, like, Christianity has been like manufactured and copied. Okay, now what? Like, you don't just keep repeating that over and over. Like, what culture? What you standing on? What culture? What's the agenda? And oh man, what do you say to that? What do you say to that after you're done kicking and screaming about who's who, and you done screamed it from the mountaintops? Now what? And that's I like when Saba's on that type of frequency. And that's a never thing, man. Never thing. So yeah, man. Hey, glad to be here. Definitely excited for the Scribal sessions. You already know. You already know, man. He don't play no games. And everybody know they about to just get pure, raw truth, information, not stepped on. The truth ain't being stepped on.
I'm telling you, yes, exactly. Peace and love to the moderators. Peace and love to the great Basatut, great brother. Peace and love to you. Peace and love to Nook Poo. Yeah, man, don't step on it. We don't want no stepped on. Don't be pinching off my sack. I need the whole. Hey, let me get the whole bag. Don't be. Hey, listen, I need the whole thing. I don't uncut. You know what I'm saying?
You about to have Nook Poo going off in the chat. What?
Listen, I'm telling. Hey, listen. Hey, Nook Poo. Hey, listen, we at the bottom. Hey, this where it's at. Okay, come on, y'all seen the movies? Y'all seen the documentary? Cocaine Cowboys, y'all know, hey, this where it come through at, fresh off the boat. You know what I'm saying? Listen, but that's the beautiful thing, right? Is that it ain't stepped on. Like, just give me the truth. I remember people used to ask me that. But what you gonna do when you get the truth? And at that point, I didn't have no answer. I was like, I don't know, but I'm tired of the lie. I'm telling you that. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the truth when I get it. But what I don't want is the lie. I'm tired of the lies, man. Like, listen, this, Saba, I was telling people, man, Saba's in the, it seemed like, and I ain't even gonna say it seemed like it, because he is, bro. The answers are better and better. And I'm telling you, I'm not no hater, but sometimes I be like, the questions, I'm like, what kind of question is, like, sometimes the questions seem so I don't know. I just wouldn't ask the question. That's not a question I would ask, right? But then when he answered it, I'm like, why didn't I ask that? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wait, that's mine. Hold on, that's mine. Hold on, that's my question. You know what I'm saying? Because the questions, his answers are getting better and better, man. And shout out to all the question askers, man, that keep this going, because Listen, if it was up to me, it wouldn't be this far because I don't got no questions. I got the questions, but I don't know which one to ask first. So y'all keep asking questions because I love it, man. Y'all helping me out for sure, bro.
Hey, I can't wait for your first question. I don't care how long it takes. It can be 2 years from now. I can't wait till it's one tough question, just one.
Listen,
and be like, boom.
Listen, my questions is getting asked every time somebody asks one. They all my questions. And they all my questions. My first question would probably be for somebody else though. Because it's somebody that I'm gonna do what you did and ask the question for them and put them on. Like I think that's gonna be my first Cause seriously, every question is mine. For real. That's where it's at. That's where I'm at with it. I don't miss nothing. All the gems, like everything come outside of mouth, man. As far as questions and answers and when he dropping gems and he just talking, when he just messing around, his jokes is funny. Like I love it, man. So just this whole frequency, brother. So this whole truth my art frequency, that's what I'm at. Hotep, great brother.
There he is.
Hotep, my eye.
Scribal session.
Hotep, peace.
19. Scribal session 19.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm excited for to get into this and to begin continuing just bringing the teachings that aren't being taught. So beautiful thing. Yeah, Hotep Marie, everyone, please hit the like button if you're here live, and those who are watching on the playback. Everyone, please hit that like button, and also make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. And when you hit that subscription, click that arrow that's right next to subscribe, and make sure that the notifications are set to all, so you get the notifications whenever we go live. Peace and love, and then let me pin the support link to the top so it is always accessible for everyone. Hotep Marie, to the great moderators, Asatut, Aka Aksafet, as well as Amun Ka. Peace and love to both of you. And Hotep to Nukpu. See you, great brother. Hotep Marie, Hush Nation, Fix. Peace and love. Bijan Pharaoh, Hotep Ma'at. All right. So yeah, this is a powerful thing that's taking place. And yeah, Hinu to the great Saba TEHUTI for leading by example. Hinu to you, great brothers, for also leading by example and showing what it looks like. So to our great brothers.
Nini Uk, my great brother.
Hey, Oni.
Yes, sir.
Oni, what's 6174? The scribe. What is that? I should have saved that. I should have saved that for something we got working in the future. But I couldn't help it, man. I couldn't help it. I got questions, man. I got questions for you, man.
Okay. Yeah, that's it's a powerful numerical sequence where they call it the Capricorn's constant, and it's a mathematical equation with a fixed constant where whether you rearrange either ascendant or descendant in order, the difference calculating will always end up to 6174. But it goes pretty deep, but I'll just put that there for now. Yeah.
Hey, do
Nini Uk. Yeah, that's
I couldn't hold that one in, man. I just had to throw that out there. We'll elaborate later, man. We'll elaborate little later.
Absolutely, great brother. Tua for asking. That. Because there's all type of.
And yes, the Hekau really works.
Constant, right? It's a fixed constant, so we'll keep that flowing. So yeah, Tua Hinu. And yeah, let us go ahead and get started. houseofatten.org. To everyone who supports, go and get your merch and your items. Everything is there. I always speak of these right here. Hotep mats, as you see, they're real large, and I use this particular one for my altar to present Hotep offerings while I'm before my altar. And yeah, that's the beautiful thing about the House of Aten and items that we have, and we're going to continue to grow and build. So everyone, please go leave reviews if you have supported the website. If you want to become a part of the House of Aten, you can also join in on the website as well. There, all the information is there, and a messaging system as well. If you have any questions, you can just message directly there on the website, and you will get a response. And yeah, to Abasa Tut, be sure everyone is a part of the Discord community that we call the Accord. So Tua, yeah, we had a phenomenal meeting last Wednesday, and built on a lot of powerful things. So Tua to everyone who came to the Accord meeting. Uncle Jasanet. And yeah, if any of you great brothers have any announcements before we begin, pass to you, great brothers.
I'm good, brother. Hey, excited, like I said, ready for this session. Do out to you, great brothers. And hey, we watching, man. Hotep and New.
Ready, bro. Whenever you are, good brother. Looking forward to this.
Okay, Tua, great brothers. And yeah, so let me get my screen share prepared. And Tua to everyone who supports. Everyone who sends in a support through the Cash App or PayPal or through the website. I gather all the support at the end of the class, and we give dua, which is praises and thanks to the ones who support, and allow the reciprocity to flow within their own within their own life, which is the key to really beginning to break out of this hypnosis that's taking place when it comes to reciprocity. So Tua, everyone. All right. Let me share. All right. Everyone press a 7 in the chat if you all can see the screen. Everyone put a 7 in the chat if you can see the screen and you can hear clearly. support the movement, if you appreciate the works, TEHUTI adorations. Links are in the bio and pinned at the top of the chat. All right, there we go. Hotep Angela Gates. Peace and love, great sister. Hush Nation put 7. Nook put 7. All right. Hotep Marie Au. All right. So yes, let us begin. So welcome to Scribal Sessions number 19. Session number 19. Language barriers. So we're going to go ahead and just get into the session. Let's change the tone. Let's get my Saba tone, my teaching tone. All right. All right, here we are. TEHUTI everyone for your attention. TEHUTI for being here in this session, and TEHUTI for supporting Ma'at, supporting the teachings and walking the path of evolution and expansion. And TEHUTI to everyone who overcomes the challenges in your own personal angst and continuing to keep your head down and keep pushing as we are here to do some powerful work. So as I am here as the scribe, I am PTAH Ani ATEN TEHUTI, and I am here to bring forward the ancestral artifacts that our great ancestors left for us to teach and guide our walk, which is what the scribes of Ma'at taught, which is in the MDWNTR, in the language of the great ancestors, is Uat in Ma'at, or Uat in Ankh, a way of life, the way of life. And within the importance of understanding the importance of language, right? Sound, tone, and as one who carries the Ren of PTAH, it is something that is of utmost importance for me to always and continuously bring forward where the matrix exists within what we know as language, because it is single-handedly the faculty that is keeping one within a particular state or frequency without any outside influence directly, right? Just how one speaks to themselves, how one speaks to others. Every ounce of information that's given and received is building the blocks of your perception. And the mass majority of the people on the planet have no idea the power of language and tone, and why it is important to learn and to begin to reprogram our own speech and our understanding of what speech is, what language is, because all of that is it's confused at a baseline level. So here in Scribal Sessions, which is a class that I invented dedicated to the scribes of Ma'at, to again place the focus on these scribes and to bring forward their Ren, their names. When people speak about ancient writings or writings, a way of life, or spiritual writings, you hear Moses, Mark, Matthew, Luke, John. You hear all these names, that have no actual historical foundation, no archaeology, no nothing to validate these characters as being living people, and they get the credit, right? So when people speak about the scripture, they'll say the scripture as if the Bible is just the scripture, right? Or the Bible is the Bible. So it's just, even from that baseline knowing, we can see where the confusion comes in, because there's an assumption that that thing is superseding others. And I'm just here to correct that and show what the great ancestor said, to reestablish ma'at, to be establisher of ma'at, smin, which means to establish something, right? To min meaning to be firm, and then the s in the front is the causative action, now meaning to do something. So smin ma'at, to establish ma'at, and that's to eliminate the isfat. So let us begin and go ahead and get into the session. Language barriers, and you see an image here of a bowl with feet, and you see some what people call hieroglyphs up at the top, right? And let me go back here. All right, so let us begin moving. Again, too out for your attention. Everyone, please hit the like button as you come in, and the support link is pinned to the top of the chat. If you learn anything, if you appreciate anything that you see here, please send in support for it.
There's no sound, Ani.
Oh, tip. Yeah, I just saw the message to everyone for letting me know there was no sound, because I hear the sound, but you all don't. Okay, let me do this. Let's do this here. And All right, let me go to share again. And see if we can get some sound through. To everyone for your patience. Okay, let's see. It's not doing how I want it to do. So let's try one more thing. All right, can you all see that now? And let me see if you all can hear. Hear that?
Yeah, we can see it in
We
here.
don't need no Genesis. All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. Tua, everyone. Okay. Let us begin. We don't need no Genesis. We don't need no books of John. It's our writings that are house of Psalms. All light received within palms. It's the scribes who taught meditation. Holding pen that became the ohm. Giving breath, blowing life through song. Eternal life when they sing along. Sing. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Yes, head top blue. They caught lapis lazuli. It's cat's best shoe. Double body with the walkthroughs. Ancestors. In the sacred land of ancient Egypt, known to its people as Smatawi, the joining of the two lands, or Kemet, the Black Land, or the completed land, where the Nile breathed life into a civilization destined to shape human history. A remarkable class of individuals emerged. They were the scribes. In the MDWNTR, the word is SESHU, or the ones who give light. Also, SEKAU, the record keepers and custodians of memory, the guardians of words, wisdom, and mystery. It is through their craft and writings that the first roadmap to eternity was born. Long before any poems of Greece or philosophical musings of Rome, the scribes of Ma'at, of cosmic order, were pioneering a profound literary tradition. Hotep Marie, everyone's apologies. I think my internet is spazzing out. Y'all know every session something takes place. So let me start it again and see if we can get this one to go through. Again, just to offer everyone's patience. We don't need no Genesis. We don't need no books of John. It's our writings that are house of Psalms. All light received within palms. It's the scribes who taught meditation. Holding pen that became the ohm. Giving breath, blowing life through song. Eternal life when they sing along. Sing. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Yes, head top blue. They caught lapis lazuli. It's Kesbet shoe. Double body with the walkthroughs. Ancestors I talk. In the sacred land of ancient Egypt, known to its people as Smatawi, the joining of the two lands, or Kemet. Alright, we're just gonna skip by that because it's not smooth like I want it to be, and I don't want to put it out there with it not being up to my standards. So we're going to keep pushing, and I will, replay that at another time when I know it can be received how I want it to be received. So yeah, we'll go ahead and continue with the Scribal session. So Hotep Henu, Ma'akuru, Tu Imhotep Ra Seka Seshu Mech Pesej, which means welcome to Scribal Sessions. Tu Hotep, as you see here, you see the E with the feet coming, and you see these the D54 glyph, the legs and the feet walking to come as in peace. To the Seka, Scribal, and then Seshu, sessions. 19, Mech, which is 10, and Pesjed, which is 9. Right, the real word for what they call the Ennead, the Pesjed, by Nesu Seshu, Royal Scribe, PTAH, Ani, ATEN, TEHUTI. So let me start first with this session by asking a question to the class. And I know that there is quite a big delay from when I'm speaking and when y'all are hearing me. So I'll ask this question, and then I'll just give a few moments for everyone to answer. And so here we are. What are the 3 names for the MDWNTR language, or what people call the hieroglyphs? So there's 3 names, and here's 3 choices here. We have 1, and this is what I want you to put in the chat, either 1, 2, or 3. So we have hieroglyphics, we have Sumerian and cuneiform. We have number 2, hieratic, demotic, and Latin. And number 3, we have the hieroglyphic, the hieratic, and the demotic. So of these 3 choices, what are the 3 names in today's time that we know for the MDWNTR language? Peace and love to Tanya 23 Experience, Hotep Hinu, great sister, Tua for being here, Uncle Jasenet, and Hotep to Sakira Bantu Ra, with the scorpion there, the Saket. Hotep Hinu to you. Appreciate you being here. Much gratitude. And all right, here we go. House of ATTON answered. Let's see. 3. Nukpu said Kemet, which is 3. 3. See, Angela Gates put 1. Bijan Farrell put 1. Basta Tut put 3. Okay, Hush Nation put 3. So we have 1, 2. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 3s and 2 1s. So we'll go with the majority. We'll go with the majority here. And we'll click 3. Let's see. There we go. Correct.
Yeah, we're here and we're the best.
Some of y'all think I'm an alien.
Yes, 3. So the 3 names for what people. Oh, go ahead. I hear someone came off mute. Okay. So yes, the 3 names for the language that people know as the hieroglyphics, the hieroglyphs, will be 1, the hieroglyphic, 2, the hieratic, and 3, the demotic. So those are the 3 names that you will hear in today's time for the name of the MDWNTR, which is the real name for the language, the Medu and Netcher. So yes, Tua, great job everyone who got that one correct. Hieroglyphs, hieratic, and demotic. So I put some images up here of some transcriptions of the hieroglyphs, what people call the hieroglyphs here. All right, which this they will consider this to be a cursive hieroglyph. Right, you'll see that cursive hieroglyphs, which is this right here, and then you have the hieratic, which is this up here, and it's transcribed into the glyphs themselves. So you see a little bit more of a handwriting form here, and you see this owl. It looks like this number 3, and you see the seneb, this cloth here. It looks like a candy cane, and it is right here, which is a cloth that is hung over the back of a chair. So you see some of them are pretty much the same, and you see the Hotep peace glyph here, which is pretty similar to this here. And then you have some that may not be so easily able to see, right? But you still see some. You can still make out some. And then here you have the demotic, which the imagery creating the language has now pretty much disappeared. All right. So when we look at this, you don't really make out any images, and you more than likely will not find transcriptions like this. So if you see a hieratic document and you go to find a translation, you'll see how this right here is transcribed into the actual glyphs. And so you'll see that happen a lot in Egyptology, where they'll transcribe them into the glyphs so you can better look in and see what is actually here. And the demotic they don't do that. They just do the transliteration, which is this up here, right? How the Medu is pronounced based on the tone of the glyph, right? Without the added vowels in between. So that's why it looks like that. So yes, in the Demotic, you'll just see the transliteration of just how it's pronounced. You won't find really the glyphs transcribed, right? So yes, we have the hieroglyphs that you see here in the Shinu of Ramesu. Here's Ra, all right? Ra, and then Mer, and Mes, Ra, Mes, that people know as Ramesses II. Usir, Ma'at, as you see the feather on her head. Usir, Ma'at, Ra, Setepin, which means chosen of Ra. And you see the glyphs are very exact here, very much clear and detailed and accurate. And so here is the Pert Imheru, or what people may know as the Book of the Dead, which the real name is the Peret Imheru, which means to come forth as light, of Ka. Turin Egyptian Museum, S8316-3. And this is the museum number if you want to look this up. And this is a beautiful papyrus, and that's why I put it here, because this is what would still be considered the hieroglyphs, right? So this wouldn't be considered what the hieratic, where it's kind of more cursive, right? You can still make out many of the glyphs here, as this papyrus is very nefer and very well preserved. And you see, so this is still the glyphs, or what they will call the cursive hieroglyphs. Arit, Keperu, PTAH. Transformation into PTAH. So you see the glyphs here, very clear. You can still, see where here's the foot. You can tell that this is a bird, and the Sioux plant, right? And a person with their hand to their mouth. And for someone who may just be looking at this for the first time, like, how is he doing it? It just comes with practice of looking at the MDWNTR. But yes, we see PTAH here. Here's the P, here's the T, and here's the Hech, right? Here's Ra, right? You see the Ra up top and the body here. And here's Tim, right, to be complete. So I can look at these glyphs and I can make out these glyphs because it's still in what people today call the hieroglyphs. All right, so let me show you the hieratic. And here it is. All right, so a little bit more difficult to see the images here. All right. So it's a clear, more of a challenge to begin to read this, right? So you can see the difference between, this script and how clear it is, and this one, right? And this is the Teachings of PTAH Hotep, one of the oldest papyri, and the oldest papyri teaching on the way of life, on the teachings of Ma'at, the oldest complete book on the planet, right? And this is where it is in the National de France Department of manuscripts, Egyptian 188. So the Prisse, Prisse, Papyrus 188. Here are the teachings of Ptah. So here's the hieratic. And so let us keep going and see and look at the language. Let's look at the writings and look at these artifacts and begin to dig a little deeper. So let me ask the class here, when you look at this image here, what all do you see? Do you all see what all? Let me just ask that. If you all can make out any language on this papyrus by looking at it, right? And I love doing these exercises because it causes you to begin to observe more on things that you may not look at readily, right? I remember when I first started to look at the papyri and how much of a challenge it was to make out what it is, right? But it's a powerful thing as it begins to sharpen your sight and allow you to see things around you that you may overlook, right? So yeah, here we see some writing here. And so this right here kind of looks like what I showed earlier. Which this is completely unrecognizable, right? Like, what is this? What is that? And this would be called the demotic, right? This is what they call the demotic here. And then we have something else here. As you see, it kind of changes up. You can tell the handwriting is a little different. You can tell even the penmanship, like this is a much thicker writing versus this, which is more thin and sharp and quick. This one's more thicker and more connected, as you can see, right? So something happened from this to this. And what is this? What is this here? This is the Greek language. All right, so this papyrus you're looking at here, which is the London Magical Papyrus, British Museum, EA 10070,2, has the demotic, which again, this is dated to 3rd century CE, Common Era, 220 to 225 CE. So much later than what I just showed, right? Ptah, which that papyrus itself dates back to 1800 BCE. But Ptah himself dates back to 2375 BCE, right? And then this right here is 200 to 225 AD. And you see the demotic, and now you see the Greek on this papyrus. So, and then as you keep going on the papyrus, it eventually turns back to demotic, because there was a mixing that was taking place, right? So these are the three, the hieroglyphs, the hieratic hieroglyphs, which I showed Ramesses II on the wall, his ren, his name, and I showed the Per Emeru of Ka, the papyrus, the real clean cursive hieroglyphs, and then I showed the hieratic, such as the teachings of Ptah, Prisse Papyrus 188, and then I also showed the demotic, which is in the magical papyrus Leiden, and many more here. And so this is a complete matrix. And so welcome to the matrix of language barriers. And one of the foundational reasons why there are challenges that should not be there, right? Just in everyday life. And it is the matrix of language, right? And so even just within this, when we study what the great ancestors wrote prior to the matrix, prior to Greeks, right, coming in and beginning to learn from the Medu, learn what we taught and begin to implement it into their own stories and practice, and before they started to create the Bible and going into that route of creating this mass hypnosis of matrix based on a fictional story and characters, right? So that matrix that was created was planted directly into how to describe where it came from, which was the Medu, as the hieroglyphs, hieratic or demotic. Language is one of the most powerful tools used to control a people. It shapes thoughts, influences behavior, and can even dictate the parameters of what is considered possible or impossible. Throughout history, those in power have often manipulated language to maintain their authority and control over the populace. The MDWNTR is the oldest and longest continually spoken language. Its influence in ancient society showcases the profound role language can play in shaping cultural identity and maintaining societal order. It was not just a means of communication, but also a tool for recording history, governing, and spiritual expression. The use of MDWNTR by priests and scribes enabled the ruling class to disseminate laws, guidance, and cultural narratives that reinforced their power. This demonstrates how language can be used as a mechanism of control, ensuring that only those who understood it could access and interpret critical information. So with this, when one really begins to study the language and you see how deeply embedded it is and what the stories taught, right? Such as within the Shabaka stone, where it is taught that PTAH brought forth existence and creation through the tongue, through the nes, and through the heart, through the eb. And through those two connected, because everything that one speaks comes from the eb, it's then used to create the reality around you, right? And that was told through the story of one of the stories of PTAH and the Shabaka stone. And that was translated into, again, everyday life, right? We understood the power of speech and speaking, and just even on a basic level, how when you speak to someone and you say something hurtful, and how you can hurt someone with your words just by speaking, right? Just by speaking, you can do a lot of damage. While also on the reverse, you can take those same tones and lift someone up. You can raise someone up with those tones. You can produce sounds of healing and collectiveness. And it produces the same result, right? And even stronger at times. So we always understood that, right? And as the ones who were the progenitors of written language, of diving as deep as the Remetu or the Cometians or the ancient Egyptians dove into language, right, to create a system of over 700 to over 1,000 glyphs, over the time span of 3,000 years, and diving directly into the Heka. And I've taught from the Per Heru, the purpose of the Per Heru is writings of speech, right? It's writings of what to say, of what to speak. And that's why when you look at the very first sentences, it says the Jed on, which means words spoken by, which then is you, who is an Asar. And so it is written speech, right? And that's why the name of the language is Medu Netcher. Medu meaning words, right? Words of the Netzer. So before they're written, it's spoken. And we taught that on a very deep level. So when the Greeks came in and they started to learn that, they began to implement it and put it into their system to begin to do what they did and use it for a power, right? And that's the important part of being able to have discernment. Once you come to the understanding that everything is programming, every single thing is a program. Everything that we take in visually, audibly, every form of a doorway in which you take in information is shaping and building your perception. And if you do not know that, and you're taking in information that isn't building you up, then what is it doing? Like, what's the purpose of it? And with that comes a long journey, right? Because everyone grows up speaking a language, and then you get to a point where you learn that everything that you speak there's a misinterpretation of what these words mean, right? And just in this particular language, the quote unquote English language, which is not, you got the Old English, right? The Middle English, and this English, and then you have a different types of dialects of English depending on where you're at. You can still be speaking English and not understand what someone else is saying because of just their dialect and even just the words that they use. So this it's a conglomerate of so many different languages, right? Mostly going back to the Latin, which then goes back to the Greek. When you learn that, it becomes clear how the bridge was built and why words of power become a thing, right? Why speaking into existence becomes a thing that people speak of today, right? I can speak this thing into existence, think it, believe it, right? And not knowing where the source of these teachings come from and why that is what it is. And by speaking into existence and creating around you, it's affected, right? Because the originators of the languages that are heavily spoken today were aware of that. So when we create the tones and the meanings behind the tones, and then everything starts to shift around the Old English and starts to really become reversed, where everything that was seen as positive and light becomes something negative, right? Like lust, right? Which just comes from lascivious, which just means to be playful, right? But once it gets placed within the biblical writings and then translated, you get sin associated with sex and lust, right? So anytime someone says that, their mind automatically goes to something negative, right? Something that you shouldn't do. You should not have this lust, when in our reality, it just means to be playful. That was the root, and it got turned into something negative. And then you take that frequency and then you take it as your own, and then you speak it. And so now everyone's walking around with this tone. So where you say that, it's only looked at as negative for the most part. And that right there is the matrix. That right there is the hypnotism that comes within what we speak, because it creates our perception. All right. And so when you begin to tap into that and start to learn from those who study language on, especially, you know, the MDWNTR, and can take you back through these tones, you can then begin to reprogram your own speech, and you start to question your own words, right? You start to ask yourself, when you say a word, what does that really mean, right? So it's a very powerful tool that can be used for greatness, or it can be used for destruction, and it is used for both. And I love to place a focus on it, because more people are using it for the ISFET reason, just on an everyday level, not even on a conscious level of someone who's conscious of what they're speaking and is able to produce tones of ISFET and chaos on a purposeful level, because they're there, that exists, right? Just as there's those of us who are here and utilize the tone to heal and uplift and create life. The other side exists too. And while the most masses of the people are unconscious, and the most masses of the unconscious people are walking around speaking in a chaotic tone. So, you know, all that is purposeful, right? Because it's a self-running system where much doesn't have to be done, other than just give you the language and then let your parents raise you up and teach you the language that was taught to them, right? So the bigger question to ask when it comes to these words that we use to describe the MDWNTR, which is hieroglyph or hieratic or demotic, did the PTAH have this same concept of the language having two different names, meaning hieroglyph and hieratic, to distinguish between those two? Did the PTAH, did they have a name for these two words, right? Because that's the purpose. That's the purpose, is to, what did the ancestors say, right? Today we're speaking these words that don't belong to the cultures of the people. So when you go to speak about the people, how can one be correct and accurate when speaking about a people, when the language in which we're using to speak about them is backwards, right? Everything is backwards. Give us our words back. And that's what this is. This is what the Scribal sessions is to bring back our power to create with our tone. And the more aware that you become of that, the more you're able to kepara, or keparaket, which can be translated to manifest things around you, or people, or remove. Either way, you know, utilizing the heka and the tones to command it, the utu brings that into existence. So the hieroglyphs and the hieratic, right, as I showed, that everyone uses today to describe the MDWNTR, did the PTAH have this same concept? So that's what I'm gonna walk everyone through, is to show where this concept of the hieroglyph came into existence. Welcome to the Matrix. So we know the word for hieroglyph, the hieroglyphs are MDWNTR. Right? MDWNTR. Words of the Natiru. Okay, so what's the word for hieratic? The word for hieratic, again, is MDWNTR. As in the words of the ancestors, both the actual speaking of the language and the writing itself is called the MDWNTR, right? There is no hieroglyph and there is no hieratic. There was no distinction between the two and no difference pointed out within the actual naming of the language itself, right? So that right there needs to be understood, that while everyone's saying hieroglyph and then also saying hieratic to describe another set of writings, the scribes of Ma'at said this is MDWNTR right here. When you look at Ramesses and you look at the walls and the carvings, this is MDWNTR. When we look at the Pert and Heru of Ka and we see those beautiful writings, that's MDWNTR. When we look at the writings of PTAH Hotep or the teachings of Kagimni, that right there is MDWNTR, right? So there is no distinction between hieroglyph and hieratic in the actual language that these two words are trying to describe. So we got to start there and break that matrix and show how it doesn't exist in the actual language itself, which is important to know because these words actually mean something, right? That's what people have lost in modern times, is the knowledge that words actually mean something, right? And that's really been lost in names, where if you walk up to someone randomly on the street, hey, what's your name? Johnson. What's that name mean? It'll be crickets, right? Because no one knows what the tone that they're walking around with actually means, right? Very small amounts of people actually do that research, right? And again, that's all purposeful. So where did these words hieroglyph, hieratic, and demotic come from, right? When did this start? Who started these words and started calling the MDWNTR hieroglyph and saying this right here is hieratic? Because the Cometians didn't say it, right? They didn't say it. They said this is MDWNTR, that's MDWNTR. So who were the ones to begin to change and say, no, that's not MDWNTR, that's not hieroglyph, that right there is hieratic? And so who were the ones to begin doing that, right? As these are clearly Greek words, right? So let me take you to Herodotus, who is dated to 5th century BCE. So when people speak of Herodotus, what is one of his titles that he's always attributed to? When people, historians, or when people speak about Herodotus, they say he is what? He's the father of what? Everyone put that in the chat if you know. Herodotus is known as what? The father of what? All right, as you see him here with the scroll in his hand and a staff. Who is Herodotus recognized as as the father of what? Let's see who knows or who doesn't. That's okay too. If you do not know, put I don't know in the chat. The participation is great. So to everyone. I'll just give a few moments because I know there's a delay. All right. Hotep, Big Vapes. Peace to you, good brother. Glad that you are here with us. All right, let's see. Nookpoo says philosophy. Let's see, we have father of liars, philosophers. Angela Gates says, I don't know. Hush Nation says, freaks, father of freaks. I mean Greeks. Father of freaks. You got it right the first time, Fix. Y'all are hilarious. Alexander the Greek father. Forgot. Okay, Herodotus. Herodotus is a very popular and famous name. All right, let's see. Oh, there we go. There we go. We have history. Sakira Bantu Ra. Hotep. Absolutely. You're 100% correct. History. And yeah, Tuat for being here. I appreciate you coming through. Hotep. Hush Nation put LOL. So yes, the father of history. Nookpoo, you put philosophy. That would be the other Greek man, Socrates. That's who they call the father of philosophy, right? Which is just the philo, which is love, of Sophia, knowledge, right? But Herodotus is known as the father of history, right? So if you just Google his name, you'll see that. You'll see that. And if you ask anyone who father of history is, they'll definitely tell you Herodotus for sure. So great job. Let's see. My blocks out any Greeks history. Absolutely. That's why I'm here to walk everyone through. As you all know, y'all come to the sessions, and for those who this is your first session, one thing I do is, and I'm maybe the only one online that I've seen to do this, is to take the Medu and then walk you directly through the Greek, because that's what was there. It went from the Medu to the Greek, right? It didn't just jump from the Medu to the Bible, right? It didn't just jump from Medu to the Latin, right? There is a process. And for me as the scribe, and I'm just about accuracy, I just want the truth. I'm not biased to what the truth is. I just want what it is, and I'll make my decision from there. And so I go from the Medu directly into the Greek, and then I walk through which then became the Romans, right? And then it became the biblical writings, because it's all of it's in there, right? So I can point out the Medu that's in there, as well as all of the Greeks that's in there as well, which that's for a conversation with a Bible believer. But absolutely, it's important that we know so that the matrix has no ability to hide itself, right? So yes, to everyone for participating. So yes, Herodotus is known as the father of history. And so where did that title come from, right? Who named him the father of history? Where'd that come from? Well, again, as the Sekau, as described, as that's what I'm here to do, is just to bring you the sources, just bring you the sources. So who is the one who named Herodotus the father of history that is still maintained today, right? And it comes from this person here, from this writing here, Marcus Tullius Cicero, from the political works of Marcus Tullius Cicero, treatise of the Commonwealth, and the treatise on the laws, volume 1 and volume 2, dissertation and note, 2 volumes. All right, so here it is, right here. This is your source of Herodotus being called the father of history. So the treatise is on the laws, is Cicero's imitation of Plato's dialogue, The Laws, where he develops a Stoic theory of natural law as right reason. Became very influential during, right? So this is why I go into these writings, because it influenced what we have today. And so yes, this writing right here, again, influenced what we have today, which is why in modern times, people will know and recognize Herodotus as the father of history. Why? Quintus, I understand you, my brother. You think that the historian must maintain a closer adherence to fact than the poet? Here's Marcus Cicero. Certainly, history has its laws and poetry its privileges. The main object of the former is truth in all its relations. The main object of the latter is delight and pleasure of every description. Yet even in Herodotus, the father of Greek history, and Theopompus, we find fables scarcely less numerous than those which appear in the works of the poets. All right, so here is your source that influenced the Middle Ages in speaking about Herodotus becoming the father of Greek history. Right? And in today's time, there's a word that's dropped out. And it's this word here, Greek, right? So you'll only hear the father of history. The father of history, which we know is completely incorrect, because no Greek can be a father of history, because their history, they don't even exist till way later. Right? So Herodotus can never be a father of history, of Greek history. Okay, that's the actual accurate sentence that, again, changes everything, right? Just from Greek history to history overall. And that is the power of the matrix, right? That's the power of taking something and not being exact, as the MDWNTR teaches, right? When we study the teachings of PTAH and the teachings of Amen and Mope, right? The great scribes of Ma'at, they teach about being exact with your speech, being exact with your pen, right? And this is why, because everything can switch with an inaccuracy, such as taking out a word of Greek history and just leaving history, right? So here is your source for that. And this Marcus Cicero, when you study him, he's often used as a bridge. He was as a philosopher, Greek philosophy, and the tradition of the Romans, right? And so he kind of bridged the Greek and the Roman philosophy. And so, and all of this is very important because that's what started to create what we have today, right? And so, as you all know, when you go into the SESHION sessions, and I'll walk everyone through the Greek to show you all the thieves, to show you all the liars, and the tones of the people that are responsible for this matrix that we have today at a foundational level, right? So, no, he is not the father of history. In the actual attestation, he is the father of Greek history. So where does the actual word hieroglyph come from, right? As I showed, Herodotus, this quote unquote father of history, which is Greek history. I'll take you to his writings. Herodotus, the Histories. And this is chapter 1, verse 1. This is how it begins. This is the display of the inquiry of Herodotus of Halicarnassus, so that things done by man not be forgotten in time, and that great and marvelous deeds, some displayed by the Hellenes, or the Hellenistics, right, the Greeks, some by the barbarians, not lose their glory, including among others, what was the cause of their waging war on each other. Right, and then here is the Greek right here. And so here's the translation, and here's the actual Greek, because the English is a translation, and for us to dig and begin to break the matrix of the language, we got to look into the language. That's what we have to do. So why did I pull this up, right? It's Herodotus, the Histories. Why is it called the Histories? I don't see a word for history here. And this is the very first sentence. Why is this called the Histories? This is the display of inquiry of Herodotus. Well, again, that's because when we look at the actual word in the language that it was originally written in, which is the Greek here, I have this word underlined, inquiry, which is this right here in the Greek, inquiry. You see, as it gives some different sources. All right, and then title of work by Theophrastus, systematic or scientific observation. Okay, a systematic or scientific observation, the inquiry of science generally. Okay, so this word that is used for history is also used for scientific observation, science generally, of geometry, and empirical medicine, body of recorded cases, mythology. Uh-oh. Now that word there, there's going to be another. Yeah. But we see mythology is under here under inquiry. Okay. Let's see what else is written here. Written accounts of one's inquiries, narrative. Oh, what's it say? History, probably in this sense. All right, it gives the attestation. General history, restricted by some to contemporary history. So history, generally, story, account. So this is what it actually meant in the Greek. Right before this word that we speak today of history, right? People, if you say history, what is history? people have their perception on what it is, and not knowing that in its original sense, history was to inquire, to be inquisitive into a particular topic, right? And then it began to change into something else, right? And we have general history. So this right here is why Cicero put in his writings that Herodotus is the father of Greek history, right? Because he wrote some writings called the Display of the History of Herodotus, or the Inquiry of Herodotus, which then becomes the history. So this is where his history starts, right? 5th century BCE. But if you want some actual fathers of history, of written history, you know, that we have today, you know, you can look up people like Tehuti III, Thutmose III, the great pharaoh Par-ee or Par-ah Nesubiti Thutmose III, who documented historical events, a real living being documenting historical events far before 5th century BCE. Ramesses II, Ramesu II, as I showed, Userma'at Ra Setepen Ra, documented historical events, battles, right? Wars. Merneptah documented historical events. These are some of your fathers of history. The very first ones to actually document and write historical events that we actually have today, you know. So no, Herodotus is not the father of history. He can be the father of Greek history, but that needs to be corrected every time that is said, right? And one of the oldest historical artifacts that exist actually are in this particular language that I'm teaching on, right? And it's called the Palermo stone, right? So the Palermo stone of black basalt, which probably stood in Heliopolis or Unu, the Medu word Unu, is housed today in the Museum of Palermo, while smaller fragments of it are kept in museums in Cairo and London. This fragment can be regarded as the earliest Egyptian royal inscription because it preserve the earliest royal annals. Its royal annals were compromised by the royal names from the early dynasty to the 5th dynasty and the principal events of that particular year. In addition, it provides us with significant information about the Old Kingdom, such as historical circumstances, the nature of these reigns, and some kings' ritual activities. These are great value to us knowing about the royal deeds of the Old Kingdom. All right, and so here it is. 25th century BCE. As you see here, the 5th dynasty. This is a historical, archaeological artifact, ancestral artifact that is keeping record of history. All right, it keeps document of the Nile, you know, how deep it is, and each year, many different things. So this right here is one of the oldest historical documents that exist on the planet, right? Which contains the list, another list of Nesu that I didn't put into my original God Kings class, where I showed the Kings list, the two two kings lists, the king's list of Abtu or Abydos, and also the Taurine papyrus, and also show the other side of that papyrus of tax collection. So those were those two, and I didn't put this in that class, but it is here, which is another Nesunini, another king's list, right? All the way from the first, what they call the first dynasty, all the way to the fifth dynasty. This is 2,000 years before Herodotus, the quote unquote father of history, right? And so if we continue to keep going within this writing, Herodotus, the histories, I'll take you to chapter 2, verse 36. And we'll start up here and begin reading. Everywhere else, priests of the gods wear their hair long. In Egypt, they are shaven. For all other men, the rule in mourning for the dead is that those most nearly concerned have their heads shaven. Egyptians are shaven at other times, but after a death, they let their hair and beard grow. The Egyptians are the only people who keep their animals with them in their house. Whereas all other Egyptians on wheat and barley, it is the greatest disgrace for an Egyptian to live so. They make food from a coarse grain, which some call spelt. They knead dough with their feet and gather mud and dung with their hands. The Egyptians and those who have learned it from them are the only people who practice circumcision. Every man has 2 garments, every woman only one. The rings and sheets of sails are made fast outside the boat elsewhere, but inside it in Egypt. The Greeks write and calculate from left to right, right? Which is what we still do today, left to right. And the Egyptians do the opposite. Yet they say that their way of writing is towards the right, and the Greek way towards the left. So does everyone understand what's happening right there? Where you see this is speaking about how the Greeks write from and calculate from left to right, but the Egyptians do the opposite. They go from right to left. And yet the Egyptians say that their actual way of writing is from left to right, and the Greek towards the left. And why is that? Right? And I think I'm the only person I'm the only person I've heard say this and point this out, where when you look at the words for direction in the MDWNTR, right, you have left and right, which would be Aptet and Amentet or Amenet, right? The Eb or the heart, which is the Eb, which is the Medu word for the left, right? And Amonet or Amentet is the word for right. But when you look up the actual direction, you'll see that the Ebtet, which is left, is actually east, and Amentet or Amenet is west, right? So that's why when you look at the writings, you'll see foremost of the Westerners. Asar is foremost of the Westerners, right? The Westerners, the ones who have transitioned, right? And Amenet and Amentet, the ones who are in Amentet, the hidden space, right? So east is left in the Medu and west is right, right? Again, east is left in the Medu, west is right. Here, east is right, west is left. So the Greeks write and calculate from left to right. The Egyptians do the opposite, yet they say that their writing is towards the right, right? Because towards their right would be Abtet, which is east, which to the Greeks would be the right, right? So they employ two kinds of writing. Again, this is Herodotus, the Histories, 5th century BCE. They employ two kinds of writings. So what kind of writings do they employ? One is called sacred and the other demotic. Okay. All right. So we have Herodotus here saying there's two kinds of writing. One is called sacred and the other demotic. Right? So where is the third? Right? If it's hieroglyph, hieratic, and demotic that we know of today, why in here in these writings here of Herodotus, he only acknowledges two kinds of writings, right? And this is your oldest source for the description of the kinds of writing in Egypt, right? So this is the oldest attestation that you will find of any Greek historian or scribe or writer writing about the MDWNTR language, right? And here it says one is called sacred and the other demotic. So before there was hieroglyph, hieratic, and those two distinctions, right? It was just one that was called sacred, which became what? The hieroglyph and the hieratic, which is both has the word higher or hier, or, which is sacred, right? And so here in the footnote, you see, as you see the demotic, and then there's a little one. It says, look at the one footnote. So you look at the one footnote. Three kinds, really. Hieroglyphic, hieratic, derived from hieroglyphic, and demotic, a simplified form of the hieratic. So even though Herodotus says there's two kinds of writing, right here it says three kinds, really. So this right here is, again, is a major matrix where the correction for the footnote of this sentence is historically more inaccurate than what Herodotus put, which two kinds of writing, one is sacred and the other demotic, right? As I taught and showed that the MDWNTR is hieroglyphic and hieratic. Like that was the name of the language, was MDWNTR in both instances. So there would be the MDWNTR and there would be what's called as the demotic. So he was more accurate than Rawlins' essay, chapter 5, and appendix to book 2. And I also have, the source for hieratic and demotic and all of that, but I just want to focus on the hieroglyph side within this session here, right? So here is your 5th century BCE source of the writings of the MDWNTR, outside of it being called MDWNTR, now being called sacred or hiered, or the other demotic. Which is here. This is her, and this P looking letter is really a R sound. So this is like a he, a, or, and then os. It's like heros here. And we have this word here, which again, this is like a ga, and then a ra, gara, and then matikos. Heros grammaticos is what Herodotus called the MDWNTR language. This is the earliest source for that. Heros grammaticos. So before Before the hieroglyphic, before the hieratic, Herodotus called it the heros grammaticos, which is right here at the end of this sentence, starting right here with kai, K-A-I, ta. Kai, one is the gra right here, or the hor, and then here's the gra. The hor, which is, it looks like an IPA, which is this word here. This is more of a neuter noun, but this is the holy, right? Sacred. To be sacred or holy, that's the hero, right? The hero, which goes back to Heru, or Hor, Horus. That's the heros, as the sacred and holy one. All right. So here it is, and then here's the grammatica, right here. You see the tika, right there, matica, which means knowing one's letters, well grounded in the rudiments, a grammarian. A grammarian. Short definition, right? Holy. And then here, of earthly things, hallowed. Right? Hallowed be thy name. Consecrated. Of the temple of Athena. And then here it is right here. Hora grammata, which means sacred writings, hieroglyphics, right? As you see here, which again is actually this word right here, glyphics, isn't grammatikas, right? So it's important to know that, but it becomes known as the hieroglyphics, right? Holy scriptures, grammatical, who can read, write, literate, grammarian teacher of matters relating to writing, glasses, grammatical, lettered, right? Grammar, penmanship, writing. So this is the holy writings, the holy grammar, right? That's the grammatica, right? Which creates your word grammar. Grammar that we have today comes from this, which actually means letters. Knowing one's letters. So Herodotus, the father of history, who titled the MDWNTR the Heros Grammaticos, which was the first Greek word for it that people don't know today. They don't say the hierogrammar. This is the hierogrammar. Now it's either hieroglyph or hieratic, but before it's hieroglyph, it was the herogrammatical. So no, we're going to cancel Herodotus and get him out of here. And yeah, no father of no history. And renaming the MDWNTR within the Greek language, he is responsible for that, and calling it the hero, the gramma, which is actually more accurate than the hieroglyph. So yes, before it was hieroglyph, it was hierogrammar. This is a big distinction. Why? Because when we look at hieroglyphic, 1580s, of the nature of Egyptian monumental writing, late Latin hieroglyphicus, from Greek hieroglyphikos, hieroglyphic of Egyptian writing. And again, this is etymology for anyone who may be new here and is wondering where I'm getting this from. It is from Etym Online, ETYM Online. And this is where you can type in words to look at the history of the word and how it became what it has, and taking you back to the Pyru, what they call the Proto-Indo-European, which again just takes away the name of the language that it actually comes from, which one of those languages would be the MDWNTR. But yes, this is Etym Online. Greek hieroglyphicos, from hieros, right? Heros, sacred, and glyphi. What does glyphi mean? Carving. Glyphian, to carve. From glue, to tear apart or cleave, right? So that's a big difference. Plutarch began the custom of using the adjective ta hieroglyphica as a noun in a reference to the Egyptian way of writing. Right. So now we got that's Plutarch, but that's another session, right? Right now it's just Herodotus, right, and showing you what he did, and how it became MDWNTR and how it turned into hieroglyphic. Right. Before it was hieroglyphic, it started with hierogrammer. As the grammar, as I showed, deals with letters, teaching, writing, that the grammar itself, penmanship, right? So penmanship, while the glyph means to carve. So now a hieroglyph is a carving of the hero, the sacred carvings, right? So that now becomes the hieroglyph, the sacred carvings. But when we look at the glyphs, the hieroglyphs, right? People say, look at the glyphs. Those are the glyphs right there. When glyph means to carve, right? And this is the matrix. This is the power of spells, hypnotism, sound, tone, language, right? Because everyone will say, yeah, these are the glyphs, when none of it's carved. None of it's carved. And so it was changed into something else, right? It was changed into a nature of monumental writing. But initially, of course, it was carving. It was carvings. So when you say hieroglyphics, you're talking about carvings, right? And no one really makes that distinction. No one makes that distinction. So I'm just here to point out and just break all these matrices and show how everything just got reversed and flipped upside down, right? East is right, west is left, but in the Nile Valley, east is left, west is right. That right there is a great way to show how everything has just been reversed and flipped, right? The Cometians wrote from right to left and left to right, both directions. And it wasn't until later in the Demotic script where it became in the hieratic, what they call, in certain documents, more legal documents, where it was from Amentet to Ebtet, from the right to the left, which to the Cometians was the left to the right. Right? So just even with that, you can see where the confusion begins to insert itself. So a hieroglyph is a carving, right? So when you look at a papyrus, those can't be hieroglyphs because there's no carvings. But then when you look up the hieratic, you know, they'll say it's the cursive form, but then there's cursive hieroglyphs, right? But then you'll also find carvings of hieratic, what they call hieratic. You can find carvings of that too. So that would be a hieroglyph. That would be a glyph, a carving. So is it hieroglyphic or hieratic, or is it hieroglyphic ratic? Right? So these things create confusion subconsciously within the mind, and this is just one instance to show how these words that we use are just incorrect. No one's speaking the right words to describe what it is that they're wanting to describe, and that creates language barriers, right? And that is the purpose of this session, to really point out and show where some of these barriers begin to implement themselves within the language that we speak today, and how I choose to use the MDWNTR as a foundational root, because it is the language that existed prior, that was rooted in ma'at, in truth, and being exact, and being accurate in your speech, and being truthful, and removing the lie, right? So it would be more accurate to actually call them the hierogrammar if one wanted to use Greek words to describe the MDWNTR language, right? Because what is grammar? Grammar, Latin grammar, rules of Latin, from Old French. Grammar, learning, especially Latin and philology, also
And yes, the hekau really works.
magic incantation. Grammar, magic incantation. Everybody knows grammar. You got to study your grammar. Everyone goes to English class, language class. Let's learn our grammar. Let's go learn language in English. English 1, English 2. Let's go study grammar. Magic incantation, spells, mumbo jumbo. So in the Latin, which if anybody has been to Saba Tehuti's pod class and where he's shown the Latin and going into the biblical writings and the gematria that's deeply embedded into the Latin language, we know that the Latin is completely imbued within magic, right? Because they understood the power of the grammar, of the tones of writing and speaking, and mathematics, which you saw was also tied into this here, the grammaticals, right? So yes, grammar is magic itself, and it actually creates a word that I didn't put on here, and so we're going to do this in real time. So we'll go here to ATEN Online Dictionary, and we'll type in grammar. All right. Oh, here we go. Latin grammatica, grammar, philology. Latin form of grammaria. The classical Latin word is from Greek. Grammatic, techne, right? Which I did a whole class on that in my music class. Anyone can go watch Music in Ancient Egypt, my session that I did. And I taught on the techne and how that creates the arts, right? Which then turns into the muses, which the techne is a MDWNTR word, which is also one of Tehuti's names. Techne as the weight, also of the scale. So MDWNTR concept and teaching of the tekken, which is also the word for the obelisk. So the techne then becomes art in the Greek. So the art of letters, that's the grammatiki, the art of letters, right? Which is more accurately describing than glyph, which means carving, right? So referring both to philology and to literature in the broadest sense. Grammaticals, a much broader word in Latin and Greek. And then it turns into the systematic account of the rules and usages of language. So now the grammar, that is the system put in place to create an account system of rules and usage for the language. This is the law of the language, which is called grammar, which of course is for grammar right here, grammary, learning, erudition, hence magic, enchantment, a variation of grammar, a book of conjuring magic. A book of conjuring magic, which then hence modern French Grimoire becomes the gibberish, incomprehensible nonsense, because they don't understand the heka, right? So it becomes gibberish. It becomes, for the grimoire becomes the gibber or the gibberish, incomprehensible nonsense. I can't comprehend what they're saying, right? It becomes gibberish.
And yes, the hekau really works.
And so when people walk around with this grammar as understanding it as this, like what power will you have? You know, if one person is knowing that I have a book of conjuring of magic, I have a grammary here, and that is directly tied into my learning and my letters and my speech, and I use that, and then someone else says, oh, that's good and merry, that's incomprehensible nonsense. All right. Lay of the Last Minstrel, 1805, in the sense dark magic. Right. So the later you get, the more it starts to just transform into this, right? All the powerful words of light, creation, heka, magic get turned into this, right? But it comes from something else, right? And that's the grammar. Your speech, what you speak, the law of the language is directly connected to magic, right? So to come back to this letter later, as you see here, from grandma, letter, see gram, letter. So hierogram would be more accurate, right? So Herodotus was more accurate than who created hieratic, which it will be for another session, which was again was later, 200 CE. Wasn't until hieratic came about, right? And Old English gloss of it was staff crafi, or staff craft, staff. So Old English, again, Old English gloss of it was staff. Allow me to introduce you to a scribe who takes his craft as a scribe very seriously, and let me share his words with you. Right? Sekau session to bring the scribes forward. So here is the papyrus, ANASTASI 1 through 15. P ANASTASI 1, column 1. British Museum number EA 10247. And when you look at this here, this right here would be what people would say if I was to ask, hey, what script is this in? Is this hieroglyph or is this hieratic? Right? And that answer would be hieratic. This would be what people today call the hieratic, right? And so I'll begin to read this translation from you. This is one of my favorite papyri right here. And it's just phenomenal. So let's read this and see. Let's see how the scribes speak to each other, because this letter is from one scribe to another. One scribe to another. So let's see how these scribes, well, how this scribe in particular talks and writes to the other scribe. So here we are, Papyrus ANASTASI 1. The scribe of superior intellect, with sound advice, over whose utterances there is rejoicing when they are heard. So skilled in the God's words, that there is nothing of which he is ignorant, who is an able champion in the occupation of SESHAT, and a servant of the Lord of Hermopolis, or Unu TEHUTI, in his writing chamber, an instructor of apprentices in the Bureau of Archives, the first of his colleagues, and foremost among his associates, a leader of his class, like whom there is none, of whom an example is made for every young man, one who has advanced through his own efforts, and whom his fingers have aggrandized, a precocious child who has attained his maturity, versed in intellectual pursuits and astute because of them, discreet in his character, one beloved in people's hearts and not rebuffed, whose friendship one longs for and never gets tired of, who bestirs himself in inscribing blank sheets of papyrus, youthful, of distinguished appearance and pleasant demeanor, who can interpret difficult passages in past records just as the one who wrote them, whose every utterance is so steeped in honey that hearts are restored thereby as through a ready potion. Groom of his majesty, Ankh-Uja Seneb, and retainer of the Neb, Ankh-Uja Seneb, who trains the sovereign steeds, who is such an energetic, stable hand that even as a senior man who toils as he is outstripped, one who loosens the yoke, Hori, son of Unefer, of the district of Abtu, the island of the righteous, born of Ta-Usere, from the region of Belbeis, a chantress of Bastet, in the God's field. So here is the introduction to this papyrus here, ANASTASI 1, and very powerful, right? What an introduction, right? So when you hear my introduction here at the House of ATTON, you see what it's inspired by. And this is what I love, because again, the matrix of today's time will call someone who says something like this a narcissist. that word is so used, overused. People don't even know what that means or where that comes from, but they're using that word in the wrong context. The narcissist again has to goes back to an actual deity, and it goes back to a mirror, right? And looking in the mirror, and his name was what then created the word narcissist, but that was incorrect. But here you see how the scribe is describing himself, right? And which is so very important, right? Because you have to be one to give yourself the flowers, the deservance, the proper tones to represent the frequency that you come forth as, right? And you are the best representation of you to do that, right? You are the best representation to present yourself as who you say you are. And that is the standard that you set for yourself, right? As I pointed out in Atef's last 2 minute button production animation, and going into that beautiful Seba'it and creating a foundation for yourself. So the scribe of superior intellect, who gives sound advice, healthy advice, over whose utterance there is rejoicing when they are heard. So skilled in what? What's he skilled in? The God's words, which would be what? Which would be the MDWNTR. So you see this papyrus here that's in the hieratic. That the scribe Hori, Hinu Dua, Hotep Ma'a Kuru, to the great Seshu, Hori, Tua for your documentation, your writing, Dua for your standard, because this writing right here set the standard for myself as well. So Tua, great ancestor. And here you see the writing is the hieratic, but in the actual papyrus itself, we have MDWNTR, the God's words, which in this papyrus is right here. Here's the axe, and here's the met, the medu, and this right here is heru on the standard, which is another word for netter. So the MDWNTR here with the 3 lines, and then here's Hotep, but MDWNTR is right here, right? So Hori, who's here, that people will call this hieratic, but Hori called this MDWNTR, right? PTAH Hotep called it MDWNTR, MDWNTR, and his papyrus. So no scribe of Ma'at ever made a distinction between what today people know as the hieroglyphic and the hieratic. Okay, so this session here is to break that matrix and to place MDWNTR back at the forefront, and for people to start using that tone when speaking about the language, and stop using hieroglyph and hieratic to describe the writings of the ancestors. Use the words that they use, which is MDWNTR, Sesh MDWNTR, the writings of the Medu. Right, because this scribe here that's what he called it. Right, there is nothing of which he is ignorant, knowledgeable, who is an able champion in the occupation of SESHAT, right, the netteret of writing and accounting. And I have here, the House of ATTON has the most classes, the most detailed, in-depth teachings on SESHAT that exist online anywhere. Lives here at the House of ATTON. So Dua to the great Hori, right? Advanced through his own efforts. Who does what? An example is made for every young man. Dua for leading by example. Discreet in his character. And this, of course, who can interpret difficult passages and past records just as the one who wrote them. You see this word interpret, which is the Medu word uha, which I have a very deep class on the uha and what interpretation is, and how the scribes of Ma'at were still utilizing interpretation, right? To just as you come to the Ma'at fundamental classes, you come to the House of ATTON Sunday classes, you come to the TEHUTI pod class on Saturdays, and you see the MDWNTR being taught. This is what the scribes did in antiquity. This is what they did in ancient times, right? So the same passage that they're studying and learning to interpret, or uha, which also then creates the word for translation as well, because there's different dialects, and scribes would learn the Imigur language, or what people know as the cuneiform, which again is just another carving. The hieroglyph is cuneiform, if you want to use just the words for what they are. But again, that's the matrix. That's the incorrect terms to describe these words. That's why we should use the words that was given to them at birth, right? And this is what I'm choosing to do, to lead by example with, and really put it in people's faces how important it is to really watch your tones, know what you're speaking, and know what you're listening to, you know, because all of this is doing magic all around you, all the time, around you, inside of you, all the time. So if you're not aware of it, you're able to be pulled here, there, and this is what we're here to remove and create a stability of the mind. So dua to Hori and his Atef Unefer and his Mut Ta'u Saray, the Chantress of Bastet, Hotepenu. So here we are. Here's the transcription for everyone to be able to clearly see the Medu Neter. So one who is skilled, which is Himu, M Medu Neter, which is this right here, the Medu Neter. Kim and F, right? There is nothing that he is ignorant of. So the Medu Neter, which is written in what people will call the hieratic, what it's saying in the hieratic is saying Medu Neter, right? So which exists right here, as I pointed out. And again, divine words, hieroglyphs, which would be more hierogram, because this right here is not a glyph, it's not a carving, it's a gram, a letter, right? This is the Medu Neter, Sesh Medu Neter. And so, whenever I told you all to keep in mind of this here, the classical Latin word is from Greek, grammatiki, technique, art of letters, referring both to philology and to literature in the broadest sense. Feminine, grammaticos, pertaining to or versed in letters or learning, from grammar, letter, see gram. In Old English glossophyte was staff. Oh, why is that? Because the Medu is a word that means staff. The word for word is the same word for staff. Right? That you see here. That creates the grammar. Same word for the law of the language. The letters is the same word for staff, which directly comes from the Medu. Your words, which is the staff, which is used to support you. Used for defense, used for offense. So here are your two words for the name of the Medu Neter and the language of what's known as the Demotic in the actual language itself. So there's only two. There is no hieroglyph. There is no hieratic, right? Glyph is carve. Hieratic, which just means sacred writings. It is just Medu Neter. And then when you get into the Demotic, now we have a Medu Neter word. SESHAT. SESHAT or SHAT, the demotic writing, which is here in the Wartenberger dictionary, the German dictionary, volume 3, page 476. You see Medu, Netcher, and Sesh and Sha'ai, or Shai, right? Or Seshai, which is the word for the what became the demotic, because it's not demotic, again, just means demos, which just means ordinary or the common language. So you have Sesh and Shai, which is another word for secretary. You know, it all deals with those type of documents and writings. So here is part 1 of language barriers, and walking everyone through the matrix of the hieroglyphs, the hieratic, and the demotic that everyone uses to describe the MDWNTR today. And as described, it's just unacceptable for that to exist without the ma'at of it also existing, right? So so this is a session that everyone can always refer people to break the matrix of the hieroglyph and the hieratic, and just even how the hieroglyph means to carve. But when you pull up, if I show my hotep and I'll say what language it is, I'll say it's the hieroglyphs, but this ain't a carving, right? So again, session by session, step by step, brick by brick, cell by cell, word by word, letter by letter, stroke by stroke, we will break down the matrix to build back up ma'at, to honor the great ancestors and what they said, what they wrote, to also dig into the translations ourselves, to become more accurate, right? There's a different connectivity because most people, yeah, it's just a different thing. So tu'a everyone for your time and attention through this session. And again, my internet, as I've transitioned spaces, this is my first time on seeing it move like this. So I'm gonna look into some things this week because I need my sessions to be smooth, and I want you all to see the introduction that I created for this. So again, Uncle Jasa Neb, Hotep Marie. Again, everyone, if you appreciated this session and seen you know, the time and energy and detail that I went into, you know, showing this to teach everyone, those who appreciate and study Kemet, study Ma'at, and you know, with that comes truth. And if for any of us to represent the great ancestors, to represent the Natiru, right, Asar, Tehuti, Aset, Nebet-Het, right, to represent all of the great Natiru, it's important that we do everything that we can to bring forward Ma'at, right, to bring forward the truth for ourselves, and by doing so, it will benefit those around you, right? So again, tu'a everyone for your attention, for your sejim, right, which taps into my last session and the importance of the sejim and how that's the greatest thing that anyone could ever do, to sejim to the seba'it, right? So Uncle Jasaneb, Dejet Usir, Hotep Marie, peace and love, tu'a everyone. This has been Language Barriers, Scribal session number 19, part 1 of many, as this is a very, very deep topic, and I have plenty of sources and teachings to go into this for particular things into the future. So I wanted to bring this forward to everyone and give you all this Saba to walk through. Hotep Marie, peace and love to everyone for your attention. And that completes. I am Kim Nook Kemet. I am complete. Hotep Marie.
Yeah, we're here and we're the best.
Hotep, peace, great brother. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You drove the truck through the barrier. You drove my hot truck through the barrier. That was fire, brother. 2 off for that. Yeah, brick by brick, letter by letter. I appreciate that. I appreciate you breaking that matrix with the language, brother. That's one of the things that 2 off for the tones too. We got a little sample. I was seeing Hush Nation put in the chat. We get more tones, you gonna run that back. So I know
Say it again, Matef. Say it again. Say it again.
I'm saying, right? We excited for that, bro. Like, but this was fire, brother, and you definitely drove the Mahat truck through the barrier. You didn't walk us through that. That was very nefer, very deep, good brother. Like, that was so fire, man. I love it. And I'm gonna tell you, right? So I was saying to myself, I was like, part 2. Yeah. Then when part 2 comes, it's gonna be a part 3 and then a part 4, because this was fire, brother, and we need this. So 2 off for that, and 2 off for breaking the matrix, because that's one of the things that I absolutely love about Saba, and one of the things I love about you. And your knowledge in teaching us is that you break the matrix for us. So when it comes to language, 2 off of that, and it had me in the thought process of like when they when you see the performer and he uses the wand, when he uses the staff and he's speaking and he's his utterances go right in line with him using the staff or the wand or whatever's in his hand. So 2 up for that, great brother. I really appreciate that, breaking that matrix for us. And I love that, and you're right, as far as I know, because I'm not really on them other channels, but I've never seen anyone go into any of the Ptolemies and the Greeks' writings and break them down and show them along with the Medu, like line them up the way you do and do the comparison. So 2 up for that. Yeah, he's a philosopher of the liars. So yeah, that was fire. I love that. Those visuals, of course, are always super fire. The tones, man, we want them tones, brother. That video that you was playing in the middle, in the beginning.
Say it again, Matef. Say it again. Say it again.
Tones, brother, we need it. Yeah, hey, I saw Ash Nation say he ready to pick the pen back up, man. He loved it when he's inspired to pick up the pen, and that's what these teachers do for us. They do for me, right? Because a lot of things, like, let me fan out a little bit, right? A lot of movies that that I watch, and I'm saying a movie because now I was laid back, bro. I'll have my feet up and I'm watching it on the big screen. I wasn't on this screen facing y'all, was on the other screen, watching it and enjoying it because I love learning, bro. And it's a lot to take in, and that's what I love. I love when it's a lot to take in. I love when I don't understand it on the first take, right? When I was watching movies, when I used to watch movies, I very rarely watch movies more than once, you know? It was always documentaries that I would watch over again, like, you know, or stuff about animals, just stuff that piqued my mind more than being entertained, right? So for this though, right, and for what you're doing, and what I love is it's a great balance of both. The entertainment, because of course the tones, we need the tones. There you go, DJ. The tones and the visuals. I don't know what you was playing in the beginning, even though I saw it before, but I'm like, this was great. I love it. But then like the teachings that go along with it, right? So, you know, you get us hyped up, and then you walk us through. Well, you drove me through, because that was you that was a nice ride, brother. Yeah, I was shooting out the window. You know what I mean? He was driving through the barricade. I'm shooting out the window, and you know, shout out to Herodotus too. Shout out to them Greeks for what they did, because it allowed you to do what you did for us, right? For us to break that matrix. So, you know, man, I could give you your adoration and your Hindu all day. And I will, and I'll continue to give you your adoration, brother. Keep on teaching like you teaching, and I got a lot to run back to really take in, because as I'm writing down, sometimes I lose it because of the flow, and I'm here, so it's like I gotta walk it back, and I gotta, you know, play it where I could pause it and stop it and then run it back, you know. So I love that, and that's what your teachings do. It's not like a playthrough, right? Like a one and done. It's a, you know, it's a continuous learning process. Just like Saba's classes, just like the Jed's primordial visions, right? I love to play them back when I'm just in the car, when I'm in the zone, when I'm cleaning up the house and I'm doing things, and I'm just listening to that brother, you know, drop his gems. Tour to you, great brother, the Jed, for that silky smooth voice that you have, that and the way that you drop gems. I love that as well. I love it, brother. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I'm in fan mode, bro. You know, I'm here, but it's a frequency that I enjoy to be in, and you know, and it's inspiring, and I'm motivated and inspired by it. It was your visuals, the Jed, that inspired me to, you know, do it the way that I do it with mines. And I love how Ani switches it up. He gives us a little bit of this, a little bit of that, some tones. He throws in the tones. He takes us on sometimes we in the sailboat, sometimes we in a motorboat, sometimes we on a cigarette boat when we with Ani. So I just love it, bro. And new to you for this teaching, great brother. And new to you, the Jed, for what you do. And just keep inspiring me, man. Keep motivating me, keep inspiring me, because this is what we need. This is what the house at ATTON needs. This is what the people need, brother. We need that. We need to be able to compare the Medu with the Greek writing so that we can see. We need to know that it's no difference, that our ancestors didn't make any distinction between the hieratic and what they call hieroglyphic, right? We need to know that, right? Because we think it's a difference. So yeah, Hotep, new to you, and keep teaching like that. And I definitely look forward to those visuals, because that was super duper fire. Even though I saw it once, you gave us a sneak peek of it, but it wasn't enough. I'm just gonna tell you right now, I need more. So I'm just gonna keep it real with you. I need some more of that. right? Because I'm inspired and I'm motivated by the truth, and I just want to learn. I'm a baby, and I love what you're doing. I love your advancement, and your classes are getting better and better as well, because I can't get enough of it, right? I love it because it I have to go back and watch it again. I can't just let that play, because I was here in the moment, and like I said, sometimes it's not as easy when I'm here and I gotta, be present, but I'm still learning, but I'm still a fan too. Like, I'm inspired by you, great brother. So keep teaching like that and keep pushing us forward, man. Hotep Henu to you, great brother.
Hotep Henu, great brother. Tua very much for that. Nini appreciate your great words and notes that you take, and yeah, it's it definitely is. I thought I switched vehicles before I came into the session. I didn't know I was still in the truck. I thought I unloaded a little bit, but because there's some bigger ones back there. I ain't pull out. So but yeah, Tua, great brother, for that, and yeah, just all that you do, and just continuing to be a great example, and just watching and observing your Kepara is just such a beautiful and inspiring thing, and so yeah, Tua, great brother, for your Medu, Uncle Jasineb, Hotep Ma'at. May I read to you, great brother, Tua, very much.
Nini, great brother.
Hey, peace. We gonna start, definitely with them tones. He had me over here vibing for a while every time he played it. Hey, we definitely got to get that internet fixed, because I don't like that. We need that. We need. Hey, we used to that Ani, that stellar connection. He got that full connection, and hey, I love all of that. Ani, that I know that visual that you showed, that definitely right there. I know that was full of powerful information that I know that you definitely wanted to flawlessly present, but I was already vibing to just the tones in the beginning. I'm like, yo, this is fire right here, bro. I can't wait for the album. Y'all have no idea how long I've been waiting for the album, though. We talking about the album. We talking about the full project, just unleashed. I'm telling you right now, I got loads of questions for Ani. Y'all have no idea how much things I want to just ask him, and dive into the tones that he presents. So Tua to you, PTAH. I love how you mentioned the Medu Neter, how it's the oldest and longest continually spoken language. I love the fact that you mentioned how the priests, scribes enabled the ruling class to disseminate laws, guidance, and cultural narratives that reinforce their power. That was the English language does not match. Like, you can't take an English language and hit it to so many multiple paths, right? And that's what I love about when you present the Medu. It's not just one thing. There's so many layers to it that you're just like, man, no, it's hitting this, hey, it's hitting this and this. Like, that's to have that type of to have a language that speaks, like I said, in multiple layers and there's depths to it. It almost makes you feel like, man, like hey, I got a lot more to learn, because hey, PTAH, you surgical with it, bro. You surgical with it, and there's more to this. There's more. There's more to what you broke down, and to me, that's what is one supposed to. I don't think they ready, man. I just feel like you've reached a particular a focus, a mode that whatever influence Saba has on you, whatever influence that the Natiru has on you, hey, you're locked in, bro. You're locked in. whatever your studies look like when we're not around and you're not on camera and it's a Tuesday. it's just a regular day, and I remember in your tone you said every day is a fight for life. That hits hard, because it takes cognitive energy, it takes cognitive strength, and you doing it, bro. You doing it. Saba mentioned something in the class yesterday when he said what happens when the Natiru asks you, hey, what did you learn? What did you learn while you were on this planet, right? Like, what did you learn in this life cycle? And if all you presenting is hey, the Egyptians are black, hey, off with the head. But Ani, you're definitely on your way to definitely being granted the provisions of the great Netarasar, and you making it happen, brother. Hey, you making it. You surgical with it. And I'm just grateful that hey, you still young, and you deep into it like this. That's that's inspiring, man. Hey, that's inspiring. So to you, great brother. Definitely love the sessions. I always do, but yeah, you're tapped into a vision that is unwavering, and you motivate me, you inspire me, great brother. So dua to you and tua for this presentation. Hotep Anu.
Hotep Henu, Nini Ka, great brother, Uncle Jasaneb, the Jed Usir to you. Great brother, Tua for those powerful tones, powerful Medu, and yeah, I appreciate you and all that you do and say and lead with, great brother. You know, it's a beautiful thing, and I'm honored to walk with you, great brothers, you know, through this journey in bringing forward the writings of the great ancestors forward, and the teachings, and to be a living example of that, right? And that's why I love bringing forward, it's just even within this the papyrus here, what they call the ANASTASI, which is the HORI, the papyrus of HORI, when speaking about leading by example, you know, for the youth, and that's what our ancestors did, and that's what inspired me to go deeper and deeper and deeper, and because when I read what they wrote, and I read how everyone should go and read that papyrus, because that papyrus right there is very deep, you know, and he's writing to another scribe who wrote him, and he went. You want to see a scribe when you what does it say today? When you play with his pen, play with a real scribe's pen, and see see what type of work gets put in. Let's go pen for pen, then, you know, and that's what HORI did. So if you want to see a scribe at the peak of writing, go read that papyrus, and it's a whole nother level in the Medu. He started using words from different. He went crazy in that papyrus, but yeah, just reading those is just so inspiring to me. Just seeing, and he started talking about the other scribe, and he was like, "Your writings are mixed up." You know, because the other scribe called him out. He called HORI out, and HORI also called him out because he didn't greet him properly, and just something like that was so powerful to me. Where HORI's like, and you see how it very first started. He first gave an introduction to himself, and then he introduced his sin. He called him his sin, his sinu, his nefer sinu, and his Amenemope, right? Which is not the same Amenemope as we all know. It's a different Amenemope, but he was talking to Amenemope and said, "You sent me this letter, and there was no greeting. What is that about?" You know, so it just took it very serious. It's in today's time, again. And I walk with that too. So whenever I talk to anybody, you know, I maintain my same standard. Like if I say, you know, Hotep Marie, peace and love. I hope you're doing well, sending you life and power. And then the response is just going into whatever the next thing is, which is usually what it is. I very rarely get any type of greeting, you know. And that's just the time we live in. And HORI pointed it out to Amenemope and said, "No, we don't do that." And just as much as he spoke about himself highly, he still spoke about Amenemope as highly. So everyone go read that papyrus. It's called the Satirical Letter, Papyrus Anastasi 1. And you can find translations. Alan Gardner has translations, and I don't think it's in like ancient Egyptian literature. But if anyone wants a source to be able to find that, just message me and I'll send it to you. But yes, to our great brother for that, and yeah, you know, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing, and grow and continue to peka mku. I wanted to put that in this session too, but I mean, I took out so much within this session because I'm telling a story, and the story is just long, because, you know, walking everyone down. So yeah, it's it's a powerful thing, and I'm very just grateful. I'm super grateful just to be here, alive, aware, healthy, conscious, and able-bodied, because there's been multiple times within my ankh where it could have been taken, and I was just at the mercy of nature, of the nature, and I was guided out. So you know, those situations, you know, created a deep innate fire and purpose in me, to where I don't want to waste the opportunity that was given to find immortal, eternal life in today's time, because there's a point in time when I could have made a transition before, and I wouldn't be going where I'm going now, when the transition is upon me. So because of that, my gratitude is infinite, and you know, and that's how I walk. So to our great brothers for leading by example and just being great Sinu with me, Uncle Justin Neb, to our very much great brothers.
Do all great, brother.
All right, and to everyone who is sending support, and I will show that so that we can give dua to you all. Dejed, what you think about how I showed the how Herodotus, you know, how he called it the hierogram, the sacred letter, and how it turned into glyph, and how we say glyph today, meaning carving, when we're not talking about the carvings.
Hey, it's interesting how the layers of translation happens, like how like I want to know the root of the magic, how you can take something that has been created and has been established and then create your own language to that, and and literally like stamp it as if it's the original, and call it that, right? And that's one of the things that blows me away. And yes, we always use if someone asks us like, hey, what's those symbols right there that they got written in those? Oh, those are hieroglyphics. Like we even call it by that name. And for you to break it down the way that you did, I don't even want to use that word no more, man. I don't even want to use a hieroglyphic anymore. I don't want to call it that anymore. And do it to you, great brother, for showing that. That was definitely, like I said, man. Hey, you surgical with it. What do you say? I'm surgical with this, Jake. I'm surgical with it. You definitely. You definitely, I mean, I got so many questions for you, great brother. We saving that, man. We saving that because it's a process to this. It's a this ain't no just wake up and then boom, right? No, this is a consistent study, consistent journey, consistent discipline, late nights, you know, ain't not getting the same amount of sleep. And then get to put the pieces together, that puzzle, right? Get to put that together, and then present it, and hopefully people understand the process of the amount of energy that was put in just to give the presentation. And so yeah, we can never use hieroglyphic anymore. Do it to you, great brother.
Any great brother? Absolutely, yes. Yeah. No, I'm just sitting, waiting for the. It's upon us as I carry the medu and hold the medu, and just to show some heka. And you know, I showed how the medu is the staff, and you know, I spoke about, and I showed a picture on Instagram on my IG of me when I was young, and I have another picture here. Let's see. See this. See that?
Yeah, you cutting up right there.
See that staff?
Yes, sir.
So that was my weapon as a young martial artist, and I went to the Olympics with the staff. So that was my very first weapon, was the medu. So yeah,
Destin.
And yes, the hekau really worked.
So,
I
yeah,
was just saying that. I was saying that out loud. You pressed the button.
Absolutely. So yes, let me share the screen, and let's give some dua to the great Meru of the House of ATTON. And we'll start with the great moderator, Basatut Maka Oxafek, who sends in 2072 for Hotep 5425, language barrier, Sabai, dua. Absolutely. Hotep, to you, great Basatut, and for your great consistency, great brother, and for all that you do, for your continued growth and expansion, and for overcoming any challenges that are presented before you. Dua for overstepping those. Hotep Henu to you. And we have Kiko Jones for with the dua hands, $17, who is Hefe. Hotep to you, Hefe. Tua, great brother, for supporting. Much appreciation to you for that, and for digging into your studies and continuing to dig and research and look from my eye, right? That's the source. So Hotep Henu to you for going to the source, great brother. Much Marie. And next we have Robert E. Williams for language barriers. I will replay with a Kepper beetle, thumbs up, and hands in the Shedet. Dua, great Robert Williams, great brother, for your consistency. It's just a powerful thing just to see the great brothers and sisters who implement the heka in real time and do it consistently. It's just a powerful thing to observe. So much dua, great brother. Tua for leading by example. Uncle Jacinet. And next we have Nukpu, Hotep, Nefer, Sin, Neter, Ani, Anku, Jasineb, Makaru, Mary, Ma'at, with a Kesbet E, 333. 4. Hotep, Nefer, Netiru, Au, Senu, Meru, Keru, Anku, Jasineb, Ma'at, with the Kesbet Tepi Ma'at. And we have Hotep, Anku, Jasineb, Ma'akaru, Ma'akaru, Sekim, Ma'at, with a Eb, Dua, and wings. 333, so a total of 999 from the great Nukpu to our great brother for that. Uncle Jasineb, peace and love to you for your consistency, great brother, and yeah, for being a great example and representation of a Shimsu, Hotep Henu. And I have one more to show as it just came in, so let me share this so we can show everyone. Replace screen share. There we are. With Fix, the great Hush Nation, who sends in 666, and the message was Tua Eni Pata. Eni Ka, great brother, Hotep, and Tua to you. Much love and Hotep Henu, great brother. Tua for your consistency and for your tones as well. It's just a beautiful thing. So Hotep Henu. And yeah, let's give all the great Meru a round of applause.
Better keep teaching like this.
Neb Nefer Unk. Everything is beautiful in life.
I don't play with pseudos. Forget that we the real champions around here.
Who is it? Oh, I see on the side. Okay. Okay. All right. Hotep, Hutch Nation. Peace, good brother.
Hotep Ma'at to the Ahut. You don't know it's big love, big Ma'at. Yeah,
It's dark in New York.
Hutch Nation, you cut out, great brother.
Hush Nation, go out and come back in, brother. The screen is dark and we can't hear you. He asking for them tones, Ani. I can hear him.
Say it again, Hush. I ain't hear that. Say it again.
Yes, absolutely. There he is. We can see you now.
Hotep Ma'at, you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, big Ma'at, big love. Dua Sekem, Ani Pata, ATEN TEHUTI, the Jed Sejema'a, Hemet Pau Ku, Atep from Kem Ma'at. Appreciate you a whole lot. I don't know how this thing go already. Yeah, I definitely have to stop telling people studying hieroglyphs, you know, because with that Meru breakdown there, it's so deep. But you see, I have to go over this class and really study this, because then if I could bring these details to them after the dome, they can be interested in the Aku automatically, because they can be like, huh, in hieroglyphs. It really therefore. I had just come across a video with Saba talking about where they get the word pyramid from, you know. So like, but I just tore for breaking man, okay, this matrix language, but that mean everything to me. For years I wanted to get away from this matrix language, so tore for this eternal guidance, you know what I mean? Man, I can't go back from there. I thought the session was gonna start with no tones, you know what I mean? And then I see the tones come on. I like how, yo, that's dua. That's dua. I check in dua. Yeah. I don't want to go in too much on the tones, because I hear like 3 tones. What got me like, I remember the session where when you had make the performance, that was one of the tones, and then you had play a tone at the end of one of the Scribal. I know if it was a Scribal session, but at the end of one of the classes, you had play a tone, a crazy tone self at the end, and then it just cut off. I like boy. And then after that, that's when I check in, I like, nah, Scribal sessions 2. You know, because I go with Scribal session 1. I good, you know. It's just that when I hear these tones now, I like, damn, that make me thirsty. That make me thirsty. I like, boy, I have to start harassing Annie, because I hearing these tones. I like, yo, that's big metal, you know, and to get like 9+ tracks of that, boy, that's super nefer. I have the Scribal sessions, the Scribal sessions, so nefer, so fire, so aku, that not all the songs is like regular songs I just listen to. You have certain like poetry skits and stuff like that, and them thing is off the chain, you know what I mean? So like, to get another catalog of that with like 10 tracks or something like that, that's super nefer. Yeah, so tour for that little tones they drop on us there. Definitely looking to see the video clip that was sticking, you know. Looking forward to see it on a smooth run. And yeah, this session was phenomenal, you know. Breaking on the scribe to the SESHU, that was fire. The Pest Jed, by everything, by I didn't even know that the word lust was not something bad. I thought that was something bad. So to put man on that is really never. It show you how it is just throw around these words, you know. So 2 or 4, taking this English and just breaking it up and tearing it up and mashing it up and burning it up. Big 2 for that. Appreciate that a whole lot. Yeah, the hieratic thing, I didn't know none of that. And then I hearing like the hieratic, hieroglyphs, it all falling in line, you know. So Yeah, I know this. I know this session was going to be a roller coaster ride. I know that for sure. I know this session was going to be a roller coaster ride. I just when the ride start, is like, you know, we on it. You know, I hear people for years talk about. Demotic and but they just talk about it, and when they're talking about it, it sounds like they're teaching on it, but making it so clear and detailed, man, really appreciate that, you know, because from what all the talks I hear about it, this is the blueprint, you know. So you clear it all up, and you say it have more to go on top of it. So I looking forward to it. All the sessions does be fire. Yeah. Per ATTON Sundays. Yeah, but big love, appreciate all the Scribal sessions, the JED, Sejem Primordial, Visions, Atef, Remkem, all the Buttons Productions. Yeah, I appreciate all of them. So it real never big doer. Yeah, but are you mashing it up? I like how are you slamming it every Sunday, you know. So people really seeing the importance in it now, you know. That's how it does always go. I ain't saying they're gonna learn the importance when it's too late, but I want them to get it just in time, and then yeah, they can realize it and check the date when the video was uploaded and be like, this was there, this was here the whole time. So I definitely grateful to be here to catch this session on this Sunday. I'm grateful for you dropping the knowledge on me. I'm grateful for you letting me come up on the panel. I'm grateful for you welcoming me to the ATTON. Dua Sekem. Salute everybody in the chat. Dua Henu. Everybody who are watching in the future. You don't know. Yeah, big up everybody. Bassa Tut, Angela Gates, no Pooh. I don't know. Big love, big my heart.
Nini great brother. Tua very much for that acknowledgement and for your medu and appreciation, great brother, for your note taking as well. Yeah, it definitely is a journey, you know, and the way that I'm choosing to, you know, tell my story is expressed in many different ways, and as you all know, when I first started the sessions, I was, you know, doing something that's just astronomical and just out of here. No one does, and that's just to come every single class and session with a brand new tone, put on the beat, and perform it live. That don't exist nowhere on the planet. So you know, I was doing that so much, and I'm like, let me do something. So yeah, I know the tones are definitely wanted, and yeah, they are coming. They are coming. There's you know, I have to put some space in between to create exactly what you said, and that's the purpose. And, yeah, sometimes, you know, when you do something so otherworldly so often, sometimes it doesn't get appreciated as much as it should. And you know, and that's one reason why I always speak about in the podcast. I always speak about what Saba Tehuti does and how he does it consistently like that, and how he makes it look easy. You know, I have to always remind people, you know, what he's actually doing, and I can only begin to place myself in the thought process of doing, you know, this plus 30 more years, right? You know, it's just it's something that I really appreciate, and you know, I want others to also, you know, recognize and see, you know, what's really happening. So yeah, you know, there's multiple buildings being created like at the same time, right? We have this building over here with this particular thing, and then this over here, and then the tones and
the performances,
and right, and then the business, right, and then the actual and then it's a lot, you know. So it takes a very much of an organized mind and schedule to be able to do this consistently like that. And whenever I do create something and I bring something forward, I always put myself in a thought process on if I can do this consistently, right? And sometimes I'll give myself a space of time to do it consistently in. So if I don't feel as if I can do that thing consistently, then I won't bring it forward in a public setting, right? That's just the own standard I set for myself. And I know with the tones, you know, and how I was just dropping, and I just wanted to create some space to create some excitement, right, for some new tones. I was giving new tones constantly, and so yeah, just building up, and you just to everyone who's wanting the tones, because there will be a you know, there will be a time very soon where a link will be dropped, and who knows, it may just be some tones no one's ever heard. So that's what I'm wanting to do. So you know, and with that just comes space in between, and that's difficult, you know, for me to do, because I'm always creating and I always want to bring it forward, but nah, I'm just be a little patient and see what happens in the interim of this. So and there's some other things that I won't speak about publicly, but and where we're headed to and where we're going and what we're doing, and you know, there's a plan set in place, and it's also important, you know, I always put this out too, is, you know, no artist is doing the thing of artistry just by themselves. Like, there's a team around them that is used to create and get the tones to where they need to go, you know. There's a team, you know, and I'm really wanting to build a team to take the tones far, right? Because if it's just me, then, you know, then again, I have to choose where I place my focus at any particular time, you know, so that takes away from other things, you know. So yeah, it's a beautiful journey, and it's challenging, but I always love the challenge, and it just makes you grow and expand. And the type of tones that I make, you know, it isn't ABC rap, so it ain't you know, let's go in the booth, let's just oh, what's the topic? Money? Oh, okay. What's the topic? Women? Oh, okay. What's the topic? Cars? All right. You know, it's real life. It's heck out. Is something different, you know, and I'm much more vulnerable in my tones when it comes to my own personal story, and you know, so that, you know, is different. You know, it's a different type of thing I have to tap into to bring that forward. But to you great brothers and everyone who appreciates the tones and recognizes the heck that goes into it. And yes, there's always work being done, and yeah, we keep moving forward. But yeah,
tour for the performances as well, because the performances is next level. Tour for the performances. I see a video of you doing, I don't know where I get Hunger Games in my head from, but you was doing, what the poem name is again? Get caught up in the web of lies, enter their net and get caught up in the web of lies. What up?
Squid Games exposed.
Squid Games exposed. I just find out that Squid Games was a show or a movie or something from TV, something like that, you know. So I was like Squid Games. I know Squid Games from Annie PTAH. So then I check and oh, this is something. This is what Kamasen should have told me. Squid Games exposed. I should have Googled that one time. You know what I mean? I had start off as a performer first before I went into recording and all of that. So that way, I feel the vibe of the performances, you know what I mean? They just be flawless. And Big Dua, Sekem, Henu. Yeah, because the tones is one thing. I just be loving the tones, but then the performances now, that just be like super icing on the cake. Yeah, so I really appreciate it, you know. Besides all the motivation that it put in my music, I just, the motivation they put in me, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even want to do music. So Big Dua, Henu Hotep, appreciate you a whole lot, Maneto. It's big love every time. Dua Sekem and Uncle Jaseneb.
Uncle Jaseneb, great brother. Yeah, looking forward to this year's gathering, and we're gonna get the timing right on this one, and this one will probably be a whole different energy, especially since Saba, you know, brought forward the actual recording session, and you know, but yeah, performing is my favorite part of artistry, you know. So this year I'm looking forward to bringing forward a performance next level, just even for myself. And I've been planning and putting together things, and really building. And the show that I'm building, I'm gonna set up a show to do locally next month with a brother that I build with down here in the in different event stages. So yeah, it's always being worked on, always in the shadows, creating these tones, you know, going through this Pekka Mku and healing to continue to bring forward these tones at the frequency that I do. So to our very much, great brother, for that. And yeah, Uncle Jaseneb. So yeah, it's
Uncle Jaseneb, you don't know.
I'm complete while I am sleeping on my sled. Though I'm never sleep, not even if I'm dead. I will never die, eternal life. Awake while in my dreams. I taught them how to shed. God is I. Open portals they'd rather watch strange instead. Stranger things in the double realm, like it's upside down. Feet replace the head. Silence is the sound, and it's more than loud. Trails of wave I tread. Heaven is the ground. I traverse on clouds. Decapitate its fed head.
Uncle Justin. You don't know. Yes, sir.
Yes. So yes, we'll begin our closeout and conclude this session here. Man, y'all don't know, like, yeah, yeah. Just put that there, because I'll just keep going, and everything I just said, I just put it all out. So if I get the energy flowing and blood pumping, then let me calm down.
I patiently waiting, bro. I patiently waiting. I got patience. I actually have work to do to get myself ready to be part of a big operation and pathways. So I have more than patience. I got work to do.
Absolutely. So yes, we'll go ahead and begin our closeout, and yeah, we'll start with you, Hush Nation. Great brother Fix, we'll go with you first, and then the Jed, and then I'll close out, and I'll let Tef close out.
Okay. Dua Sakem to Uncle Jaseneb, Saba TEHUTI, Amun Hotep Ra, to the House of ATTON, Dua Sakem, appreciate you, Robert Williams, Lopu, Asa Totmaka, Axefek, Minty Hotep, I don't know, Angela Gates, Amun Amunet, is big love every time, big my heart. I appreciate you coming through for our next Sunday Scribal session. For everybody digging like the ibis to echo the meru. For the per ATTON echoing the meru, keeping the meru here, keeping my art alive, representing the Neteru, showing and proving the Neteru exists. I appreciate the whole program ATTON. I appreciate everybody in the chat, everybody watching in the future. You know, we digging and we building, and we're gonna keep on pushing. So it's big love, big ma'at. Henu Hotep Marie, ma'at, program ATTON, Aoud, Hotep.
Hold up, peace, peace, peace. Can you hear me?
Yeah, brother, loud and clear.
Hey, peace. Dua to you, Hush Nation, for joining us here on the panel. Definitely appreciate you, great brother. Dua to the great PTAH. I need ATEN. TEHUTI. Dua to you, great brother. Great. Definitely appreciate you in this presentation. The love, the consistency, the depth that you go into to present us Nefer information. I appreciate your Madu.
I appreciate all of those late night studies, those the studies that people don't know that you're doing. And I appreciate you, great brother. Dua to you. Appreciate all the supporters, all the love, just everybody who's supporting the House of ATTON, those who are watching in the future. May you support. You see what's happening on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. Shouts out to our Saba TEHUTI Amun-Hotep Ra and his Naturts. Definitely appreciate them. And yeah, this is the House of ATTON. Dua to just, like I said, everybody in the chat. Definitely appreciate your attention. Much Mary. May Ra grant you and your family health and prosperity. May your mind be established on the foundations of Ma'at, and may you all rise and come forth as conscious light like the divine Ra, who rides and shine forevermore in Ma'at. I am the Jed Sajim Ma'at, him Power Kuf, everybody in the Tiru, Uncle Jasanel, Hotep Anu, Nefer Upesh, Hotep.
Hotep Marie, peace and love. Ankh Jed Usir, to everyone who was here live and for everyone who watches on the playback. Tua, much dua to everyone who supports the sessions and the House of ATTON. Much gratitude to everyone for that, for enacting Ma'at and being a leading example. Tua, for your attention. Without your attention, this does not exist. May you all continue to walk within the guidance of the Pa'ut, within the protection of the Natiru, as you traverse through your days and overcome any challenges that are set before you. May you continue to Kepa Ra as Ra and evolve into the nectar that you are to be. And with that, I will conclude with the MDWNTR and Dua Hotep to the great Saba TEHUTI Amun-Hotep Ra and his Aut. Dua to the whole House of ATTON. Sakim M Arit Marer Ka'a Simu Hatu Natiru Pert Ent Hotep. I obtain the power to do what pleases my Ka. May the hearts of the Natiru lead me. I come forth in offering and peace. Dua.
Hotep, Hotep, peace and love. Fire class. Hotep Hinu to you, Hush Nation. Yeah, it's good to see that. It's good to know you just discovered the Squid Game, brother. That's fire. Yeah, that's a fire. Them some fire tones that brother put together. I didn't know what it was either.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Real quick, I just wanted to say something before I. Hush Nation, and for anyone else who, whenever you, Squid Games is based off of that show. So pull up, whenever you listen to the tone again, pull up the track titles of the episodes in Squid Games. So look at the track titles and then listen to the tone while you look at the track titles. It's just a gem for you. Okay, Hotep.
Okay, sorry to cut you off. So I could find the Squid Games on YouTube, right?
Netflix.
Oh, Netflix. I in a place where I have Netflix. Tua.
Yeah, Netflix. Yeah.
Okay,
I didn't watch it until after I heard it. I'm not a big TV watcher, so it wasn't until after I knew what it was because people was talking about it so much, but I didn't really have no interest to watch it until after Ani did what he did.
Green light.
Yeah, so I wasn't, but yeah, that's fire though. Too up for that, Jim, Ani. Yeah, this was fire, man. Hotep Hinu to you, great brother, to Jed. Hinu to your family, to your Nafra family, brother. Hotep Hinu to you, great brother, Hush Nation. Be safe in your travels. Hotep Hinu to everybody in the chat. Robert Williams, Nukpu, the great sister Angela Gates, Minty Hotep, Asatut, Amunet, Hotep Hindu to all of you, right? Brick by brick, this is how we do this. There is no one, there's no one nectar, right? We all have a part to play in this. So just continue to strive, continue to put the boat in the water where you at. Y'all know I'm a baby, so you know I love these kind of in-depth teachings and what I'm able to learn from my brothers. I'm the rookie on the team, right? And I'm good with that because I get to learn so much. I look forward to running this class back at least 3 or 4 times, you know, before I'm able to really digest it, because I got to take it slow, man. I like to really process it. Hotep Hindu to our great master teacher, Saba TEHUTI, I'm a Hotep Ra. And you know what? Hotep and Hindu to everybody new that will be joining us and, you know, checking us out in the future. You know, peace and love to everybody. This was phenomenal. Hotep Hindu to you, great brother, for your motivation and inspiration and guidance and everything, good brother. Hey, so I just want to tell y'all something real quick. So when he was talking about it, I had to go and try to find it real quick because he's like, oh, it's not in the book. So I'm like, okay, boom, let me go and see if I can find it and pull it up. He said I could email him. He told everybody to email him. I went and I tried to find it because I want to learn. I want everything. I want to know everything. Every question is mine. Every class is for me. So, you know, that's where I'm at with it because everything was stolen from us. As Ani, you know, nicely pointed out, that it's all a lie. It was stolen. The language is upside down. We park on a driveway, drive in a parkway. The house burning up, the house burning down. Like, you know what I mean? It's all a matrix psyop. So Tupac for breaking us out of that matrix, Ani. And yeah, this was fire, man. So you know, with that we'll end the same way we began. Oh, Hotep Hindu to the great sister Minty Hotep, great sister. And all the sisters, all the sisters, Nefertati, everybody, all the wonderful Nefer sisters, and the beautiful feminine energy. We need that. So with that, we'll end the same way we began, with our Nefer affirmation. From today's teaching, the scribe of noble parts, patient in discussion, at whose utterances men rejoice when they are heard, skilled in the Medu, there is nothing he does not know. He is a champion in valor and in the art of SESHAT, servant of the Lord of Kanun, in the hall of writing. All that goes forth from his mouth is steeped in honey. The heart is refreshed with it as if it were with medicine. Unki en Ma'at, Un en Es, Nintet or Set en Ma'at, Min Hepapet en Ma'at, Her in Hu Kui, Per Iku. I live for Ma'at. I exist within her. I do not speak in the place of Ma'at. Every day I advance towards Ma'at. My being is surrounded in darkness. I come forth as conscious light.
Forget that we the real champions around here. I don't play with pseudos.
Neb Nefer Unk. Everything is beautiful in life.
Come join us, House of ATTON, Ancient Tehuti and Teachings of the Tiru. Back to the source, we the original Axemen.
You're watching me, but you don't want to admit you're watching me. This is great. I know exactly who you are.
Some of y'all think I'm an alien, but I'm.
Yo, let's go.
Scribal.
I woke up back in my bed. I could see my room as clear as looking through a lens. See, I thought I was awake, so then I tried to move, but my body shocked me like I was plugged in a socket. I started panicking and scrambling within my mental. I thought I died and now my body, I'm forever locked in. I was screaming, help me, someone help me please. But there wasn't any sound making it through my teeth. I could see movement in motion, shadows gather around me. How could I close my eyes already closed? Eating alkaline at this time, fasting rezo shocking. I was stuck in a paralysis, fear had me froze. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. I heard a voice in the back of my head. Rebirth, it's time to shed. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. I heard a voice in the back of my head. Rebirth, it's time to shed. I finally started waking up and coming back. I was in the opposite of states of fact. That's relaxed, I grabbed my phone and started to do research. Knowledge of what happened, I was in a lack. Insidious, the movie came direct to mind. Every time I've seen this, it was connected to what's not divine. Demons crawling forcefully, holding the body down. Ain't no point in trying to scream, you will not make a sound. Deep within, I knew I made that a reality. The all is mine, I saw it, and so shall it be. I start replacing fear with knowing universe is mental. Talking to my subconscious to wake me up in dreams. Then one day my spirit guides came in so essential. Daylight's astral playing loud in my dream helped to set me free. I'm back in paralysis, laying on my couch. But this time I was calm, ready to exit out. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. I heard a voice in the back of my head. Rebirth, it's time to shed. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. I heard a voice in the back of my head. Rebirth, it's time to shed. From what I read, I need to move my arms in front of me. See a rope and pull it, separate and then release. Now I'm out, I see my house is gleaming, I accept it. Looking in the mirror, staring at my car's reflection. I was so ecstatic, flying in every direction. This was months of subconscious reprogramming and redirection. Place my thoughts in my body, wake up, that's what I did. I was reborn from that day so I could start to live. It's time to shed. It's time to shed. I heard a voice in the back of my head. Rebirth, it's time to shed.